young women, there are other folks that are in those files that also violated women. And so, yeah, the files should be released in their entirety because there are other folks that are in those files that likely abuse young girls that do not have the shield of protection, for lack of a better term, the shield of protection that's around Trump. So you would get some folks, you would get justice against some folks, but I'm not one to believe anything's going to happen to Trump, no matter what comes out of those files. I just think too many folks favor him to the point where they would just simply say, it happened a long time ago or something like that, or suggest that the girls may not be being honest, something of that nature. So I don't think in regards to President Trump, it's going to matter. And in the comments, okay, well, it's all left, dumbass. What is this? Okay, well, it's all left, dumbass, that Obama gave Lifetime Achievement Awards. So you actually know the names? You actually know the names of everybody in there? He's saying it's only people on the left that dumbass Obama gave achievement awards to. So you actually know the names of the people in there, huh? Wow. Okay, you know the names without the files being released. Anyway, let's get on with the program. It is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal, depending on who you ask. Good evening. Welcome to the show. We don't block, ban, or censor. It's all about free speech here. Always have been, always will be. In a MAGA-friendly format. We've always been MAGA-friendly, always will be. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. You can be critical of anybody on the program, including yours truly. Will G says, Trump is trying to do what he did in Venezuela, trying to lower Iran's guard and strike when nobody expects it. Well, he's already struck in Iran. I mean, how much more? There's not much more striking he can do other than officially putting boots on the ground. Everybody's watching. He's struck Iran as much as he can. All he can do is continue bombing them from the air. And by the way, he's called off his threat of taking out their power plants. He's called that off. I believe that cooler heads from somewhere, I don't know who they would be in Trump's orbit, but somebody got to President Trump and told him, you cannot bomb their energy or their power plants, because Iran was already threatening to do the same to its neighbors. So Iran's approach is kind of like this. If you're going to put us in the dark, fuck it. We're going to mess with everybody's energy. That's kind of Iran's approach. If we can't do business, nobody's going to do business. So Iran was willing to set ablaze all the oil in the region. If you're going to take ours away, we're going to take all of yours away. So Iran kind of, I think they have our number to some degree. They cannot defeat us militarily in a conventional war. However, I think Iran knows that America has we don't have the stomach for a protracted, extended war, a prolonged war, and we don't have the stomach for high gas prices. I think they realize that even if they lose in terms of military, if they can continue to make the cost of gas rise, that will be a thorn in the side of the West, particularly President Trump. And my guess is there's probably some validity to that. You're going to have all the NATO member nations complaining about their gas prices are going up. You're going to have all the Americans complaining about their gas prices are going up. And that does not look good on President Trump. So Iran is making it clear, you can strike us all you want from the air, but if we keep playing games with the price of fuel, eventually they'll probably give up. And it's starting to look that way. President Trump originally talked about regime change, and he wanted to make sure he had control of who they put in or who we put in over there. It sounds like he's backing off of that. But we'll end up seeing how it plays out. But I want to ask you guys, simple question. Considering we've been at war now for a few weeks, was this a absolutely necessary war? Was this an absolute, what does this say, Mr. Mobet? I gave you a hat and mustache and Trump stole it. I didn't see that. But that can happen with Trump's face on the screen if you put a hat and mustache. Sometimes TikTok will put it up there. I see in the comments, I think I cannot pronounce that name without my glasses. Jeddah or whatever, something Russell says you are a moron. Russell, go ahead and explain your statement. I appreciate you in the comments. We don't block, ban, or censor you. Add something to your insult. Make it make sense. Tell me where the moronic part is coming from. But we're asking, and thank you for your input. We're asking, was this a necessary war? I'm going to give you a couple clips, as we always do in the beginning of the program. And by the way, if you're watching on TikTok, tap the screen. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button. It helps bring in more MAGA on my YouTube side, helps out the algorithm. Smash that YouTube if you're watching on, smash that like button, rather, if you're watching on YouTube. Nevertheless, I think we all are aware, everybody's aware by now that Joe Kent, Trump's counterintelligence director, resigned a few days ago with a statement of, after much reflection, I have decided to resign from my position as director of National Counterterrorism Center effective today. Now, we talked about this the day it happened. But I just wanted to point out, he did at the time say, I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American ally. Now, that was Kent, but I want to give you some stuff that predates Kent. I want to talk about a few things that actually goes before the director of counterintelligence. And by the way, individuals part of his actual administration. This one here, I played this earlier, but I want you to hear this.
President Trump says that he doesn't want war with Iran, but that's exactly what he wants. Because that's exactly what Saudi Arabia, Netanyahu, Al-Qaeda, Bolton, Haley, and other neocons and neolibs want. That's what he puts first, not America.
Now that's Tulsi Gabbard's 2020 campaign ad. Now, does that not sound somewhat relevant to what's going on right now? Why would she say that? And I also kind of wonder, considering what she did say, why did President Trump put her on his administration, considering what she said? But that is coming from Tulsi Gabbard, and I'm having trouble with some of my equipment because I don't know why the actual background speaker didn't kick in. But so was this a necessary war? With Tulsi Gabbard making statements like that? In addition to Tulsi Gabbard, I do also want to play, we talked about this from President Trump himself.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going...
Okay, apparently my computer decided to reset, but you heard President Trump. So we're going to have to do this without a computer until it resets. Wow, I've never had that happen before. But I do want to talk about that while my device is resetting here. Just one out in the middle of nowhere. But while my computer, if we needed to go to war with Iran, what changed? Why not? The book flipper says the video was redacted. That is fucking hilarious. He said, my computer goes, he says that's because the video was redacted. That is hilarious. That is a very, very funny comment. And it is what it is. I can't do shit when my equipment starts failing in the middle of a show, which is somewhat embarrassing. But he says the comment was redacted. Very funny, very funny. But I do want to point that out. And somebody says they should add a Trump Fortnite skin, huh? But what about that? That both Tulsi Gabbard indicated before being part of the Trump administration that Trump was going to start a war with Iran and do it on behalf of the Saudis and Netanyahu. President Trump himself, during the Biden administration, President Trump during the Obama administration, President Trump stated that Obama was going to start an unnecessary war with Iran. And now, of course, his counterintelligence guy, Joe Kent, resigns and says this stuff wasn't necessary. I want to ask a simple question. What changed? If you got Tulsi, Obama, and now a member from his own administration, if they're all on record saying the war wasn't necessary, what changed to make it so? What changed with Iran since Trump was criticizing Obama, saying Obama was going to make a bullshit war? Or since Tulsi Gabbard did in 2020, saying that Trump was going to make a bullshit war? What has changed? What made Iran now all of a sudden a necessary target? Because when you hear President Trump cite reasons for why he believes Iran is the world's largest sponsor of terror, he's naming all sorts of things that had already took place when he was saying that Obama was wrong for starting the war, and definitely had taken place when Tulsi Gabbard was saying that Trump was going to start the war. So why now? What changed to make them absolutely need to be attacked now? So I'm going to go straight into the program because right now my computer's resetting, so I can't go into. We have multiple topics as always, but without the computer acting right, we're going to go into this one and then we'll spawn into the other topics, and you can kind of see the 5 playing on the big screen behind me, a little on the monitor as everything starts to come into play. So we'll go straight to the box. I want to know what happened now to make Iran necessary and a must that we attack. Somebody explain it to me. Miss Mobetta, good evening. Welcome to the program. Hey.
What's happening?
Just a bunch of computer problems here, and I don't want to restart.
I see. Your computer said enough of that bullshit. Let me shut down.
Yeah, something like that.
He closed up for a minute. We don't want to hear him bloviating.
Yeah. but let me ask you though, what did change? I mean, well, first of all, let me ask you: do you see the Iran war as a necessary conflict? That this is something Trump needed to do to keep us safe?
But necessary for what? What have we gained out of this war?
Well,
prices went up. Our gas is up. Groceries are up. Everything is up.
Well, according to Trump,
what have we gained?
Well, we gained safety. That's what I'm saying. Trump is making
Where was the threat before that?
That's what I'm asking you. Did you see a threat as Trump is indicating?
No, and nobody that even supports him saw a threat. We have more threat coming from ISIS than we do Iran.
Well,
if you want to talk about it,
yeah, but they're yelling death to America, and you're saying nobody that supports him. I think most people that support Trump believe this war was necessary. And by the way, Handsome Conservative says, "Here's some money to fix your computer. Support your local liberal." I don't know why it went down, but it's resetting.
Tap the screen, share the live. Tapping is free. Feel free to gift the host. He got a hat mustache goal up there, and now's the time to give it because Trump is not up on the screen stealing it. So now go and give the gifts now while that picture is not up there.
Well, it's coming as I get my machine working, but she is right. Help your boy out with the hat mustache goal as the computer.
Yeah, let's help a brother out here. Let's help him out. Tap that screen.
So then, if you don't see it as imminently necessary, then why do we do it?
Because we got a bunch of egotistical P3DOs trying to hide and using that to hide. Because again, that Epstein list it's not just Trump in there that's hidden. There's a lot, and like when Pam Bondi said, if we was to expose everything, it'd shut down the system, because it has a lot to do with BB and all of those people over there. It's not just here.
But you're saying we went to war just for ego purposes?
Yeah. What?
I don't know. Ego?
Again, it really was about the e-files. You got to go and do a lot of reading when it comes to that stuff. It's a lot of people that are actually connected to those files. Pam Bondi, at the end of the day, is going to jail. I'm just saying.
I don't know what Trump.
She may be.
Maybe shit.
She'll be pardoned.
Yeah,
but
guaranteed.
She's going.
Yeah, well,
she's going. They're just going to charge is going to be flying on her ass.
I'll tell you this. If there is some desire or some effort to try to go against Trump, maybe some of them folks will get cut a deal to testify against Trump. Now, I don't know. Trump is like 80-some years old, so I don't see the purpose in trying to prosecute him at this point. I mean, at this point,
because it's on principle. It has nothing to do with him going to jail. It's on principle now. Because first of all, he was the one who ran on those things. Nobody else was really putting forth that stuff. It was him.
But what could Trump possibly? What could you possibly go after him for?
Going to release those files? Did he not say that?
Yeah, but what could you possibly prosecute him for? The Supreme Court has given him immunity.
No, he doesn't get immunity against everything. It's certain things that are excluded from the immunity. It's only when it comes to government things. But when it's his private stuff, he doesn't have immunity from that. Our president will
start a war with Iran.
Hold on, Mike.
Because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way
and I can't. Right now it's
and as sure as you're sitting there.
Okay, I can turn the volume down while it's rebooting. I can turn it. Okay.
Yeah.
What were you saying now?
Unplug the computer. That's what I'm saying.
No, I don't want to unplug it. It's booting up.
I'm just kidding.
But go ahead.
Yeah, no, like DC 57 is saying in the comments. Bill Cosby went to prison.
Yeah,
he was older than Trump, wasn't he?
Yeah, but the problem is, the Democrats have already tried to prosecute this guy multiple times, tried to impeach him twice. Could it backfire on the Democrats to try this shit again?
Nope. It's worth the try. Because how much worse can it get than now?
Well, it could garner how much worse it could get. It could garner sympathy for the Republican Party. It makes it look like this guy's just getting battered.
The Republican Party is weak as fuck. When I tell you they the most simping, scared, weak people that I've ever seen. They weak. They scared to stand on business. They scared to stand on principle because he got them all by the balls and the nipples.
I don't know if I would call them weak. They seem to be winning constantly to me. And thank you, Alter Ego. Say that again.
They might be winning, but America is losing.
Well,
you're about to lose allies. They want to kick our ass out of NATO. All of our prices and everything of everything we got are going up. People can't afford to buy homes. People can't afford to go to school. They're turning the Department of Education into the Department of Labor. They're going to have child labor where you're going to have kids working at 10 years old. Shit like that. Yeah.
They're going to say you're fear-mongering.
How is any of that winning?
How do you wait? Where the hell are you getting children are going to be working at age 11? They're going to say you're fear mongering. Where are you getting that from?
I'm not fear mongering. Go read it. Go read with them switching the Department of Education to the Department of Labor.
You believe the Republican Party wants children as young as 11 to be working?
They were touching them. What having them in the fields working? What difference is that gonna make? They was touching them and groping. Like, come on, let's make that shit make sense, Tim. I am a realist.
Oh my God,
I'm a realist. At the start of the day, I'm a realist.
So what you're saying basically is it shouldn't surprise you that they want 11-year-olds to work because they were fucking them. You're saying they were fucking them.
Listen, you have a lot of companies that are folding now because a lot of the migrants that was doing their jobs are getting kicked out of this bitch. They needed those migrants a lot more than they got their people believing. Yeah, they needed those people.
You believe they want to put 11-year-old field workers or whatever in place of illegal immigrants?
Wherever.
Whose kids are? So you trying to tell me MAGA want their 11-year-olds working in the fields?
No, MAGA don't want shit that Trump don't say. If he don't say it out his mouth, it ain't so. They don't care about that. They don't even read into stuff like that. They don't even go look at these bills and stuff that are being actually passed when it comes to stuff like that. When stuff like that is in jeopardy, your children are in jeopardy. So they don't look at stuff like that.
So whose kids are going to be working in the fields at 11?
Whoever they feel is necessary. You're going to have kids out there working because parents can't afford to take care of these bills and stuff themselves. So we're like, oh, well, it's legal for them to go work. You might as well go get a little part-time job after school. Which now you got all kind of teachers and stuff being laid off and all that. But that's a different subject. So, but it's crazy.
And I see in the comments, Bottom line says, what an ignorant, mouthy woman. So bottom line is disagreeing with you.
Tell him his mama is ignorant and she should have swallowed your ass. I got time today.
Okay, well, we don't complain about people that swallow, so leave that alone. But I mean,
well, apparently she didn't swallow at the right time, and people like him are the reason why ABs are legal.
Ooh, typical liberal behavior. Someone is saying, she listens to too much of her grandma's horror stories. So I don't know, 11-year-olds. That does sound like a horror story.
No, let's touch on that situation right there, because when it comes to my grandma's horror stories, they were real stories. They wasn't fabricated stories. Those were true stories.
That is true.
Now, just because y'all were privileged all your fucking life and didn't believe none of this shit was happening is not my problem. It's your loss. You missed out. So now when you see this shit in real time, when you see this shit happening, you don't want to believe it. You want to call it fear mongering. You want to call me ghetto. You want to call me loud. But I can tell you one thing you're not going to call me is wrong.
So let me ask it to you this way then. If you believe that Trump attacked Iraq primarily to defend his ego.
Iran,
not Iraq. That's Bush. Iran, not Iraq.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, they have so many similarities.
And I want them to go back and look at that situation with Bush attacking Iraq. And what happened? What came out of that? 9/11, didn't it?
Yeah.
Did not 9/11 come out of that?
Yeah, but the reasons that Bush attacked Iraq and Trump attacked Iran, I don't believe are the same, though.
No, I get it, but the consequences can be the same. True. You're dealing with the same type of.
So, but what I'm asking is, if you believe that Trump attacked over defending his ego, then what is the end strategy? I mean,
he was defending his pimp, BB.
Now you sound like Tulsi Gabbard.
Did not BB bring us into this? We didn't start it, but we inserted ourselves and stirred.
Now you're like exactly what Tulsi said. Before we continue, it says, shit, Tim, not too long ago depicting kids working. I believe her. Pull that video. You played it. I played a video depicting children working.
That's what I'm shooting for. You see it, and it's a travesty. It's a travesty because when the children's first of all, now your education and all of that stuff. Now when the children.
Well, let me just say this, because as a Gen Xer, there may be some Trump's madness if he's doing what you're suggesting. And 410, thank you for the support. Call the video, I would play it. But let me ask it to you this way, because listen, I grew up Gen Xer in the 70s and 80s. I did start working probably about 13, 14, not 11, but paper routes, and actually, I had a job.
Yeah, we all had jobs at 14.
Okay,
you look forward to it. You look forward to that check.
So is Trump on?
But not at 10 years old.
Well, but
shit, in Tennessee, it's legal down in Tennessee to marry a 12-year-old.
Well, that's a whole different ballgame. But how about the notion that administration may say, we have too many lazy ass teens that have never had a job and they're taking that into adulthood. Let's go back to an era when young kids knew how to appreciate having to go to work.
You got a bunch of privileged ass, draft dodging ass people making these kind of laws and decisions. Tim, we can't give them that. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit if I ever heard it.
But I got folks in the comments that are just
ask Trump what it looked like inside of a grocery store.
Yeah, but that's the president. I'm talking about the average American.
Care. And the people that follow him.
How about this? Rod S in the comments says, "Man, I was picking fruit and getting paid at 10." So maybe Trump is just simply trying to put work ethic back in Americans and get it started at a young age.
It goes back to my question: what does he know about work ethics?
He knows the importance of it.
He knows nothing about ethics. Period. All he knows is I'm gonna win by any means necessary. I don't care who I step on. And that's his MO.
See, another person said they had a paper route at age 9. I don't know if they would have allowed me. I was in Milwaukee at the time. Milwaukee's Journal Sentinel. I don't know if they would have allowed a person have a paper route. He said he had a paper route.
It's young. When the kids supposed to be kids. Like that, come on, man.
They didn't allow us to be kids, though.
Gas is up 40% right now.
Yeah.
Don't take my word for it. That's what the numbers are saying.
But Trump has already stated that not only will gas prices come down soon, they'll actually be cheaper than they were before they started.
Well, so what do you think his exit strategy is in this? Gas will never. It won't go back. I'm sorry to tell y'all. What do you think his exit strategy is?
It's hard to say because what he's suggested as what he is pursuing to get out of this war, that has changed multiple times. So we don't know exactly why he attacked Iran because he keeps giving different... Again. Thank you, and I appreciate that, Rod. I appreciate that. Folks have first he talked about it was about liberating the Iranian people. They were being oppressed, the protesters. Obviously, we don't want Iran to develop a nuclear weapon. That's something that goes back as far as damn near the Reagan administration. And the other one, he claims that Iran was about to attack us first. So he's given a bunch of different reasons for why this took place. So I don't know what his...
How many lies have we caught him in? We caught him lying in real time, Tim. Everything he comes up with, he never has proof of anything. First of all, he's talking about we did that. I thought we obliterated their nuke program or whatever. I thought last June. Did he not say that?
It would help.
You got Whiskey Keg's breath up there asking for another $280 million.
Yeah, it would help if the Trump administration. You're talking billion with a B. Yeah, it would really help if the Trump administration found someone to be the spokesperson that was more politically savvy and knew how to talk so that they didn't get caught up so much in previous statements, because the obliterated thing kind of falls right along Bush's mission accomplished. You can't get up there and say we won the war already on the first day and then all this other stuff's happening ever since. I mean, so it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right.
You still got MAGA believing that, it's not a war, it's just a conflict.
Yeah. Well,
make that shit make sense, and that's what keeps them going. They're gonna have to continue to lie because they have nothing else to fall back on. So you're gonna have lie after lie after lie after lie.
Well,
that's what he does. That's what he does best.
Well, the belief is, as long as there are not troops on the ground, and you didn't officially request war with Congress, it's not technically a war. That's the belief.
So is there boots on the ground with a tariff war?
No, that's
a war is a war. When you go back and forth with shit, it's a war. Now they need to stop it because both places were firing off stuff. That makes it a war.
That's a good point. When you bring up the war on drugs and boots on the ground and things like that, there's a whole lot of things we call wars that have nothing to do. Yeah, boots on the ground. Yeah, if you look up the definition of war, it says nothing about boots on the ground or Congress. Make sense. Too. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about any of those.
Do you have to do a vocabulary section for these mofos?
I mean, sometimes you want to alter the definition. Like when Bill Clinton said, depends on the definition of what is. Sometimes you want to alter words a little bit, alternative facts. It helps give you a landline to get out of, the corner you may have backed yourself into.
And listen, I want to address one thing that Congress calls it a war. Congress is supposed to call it a war. How many times had Trump went beyond Congress and did what he wanted to do? Everything he's done, either it's an executive order or he just went ahead and did it. And then he said, we did let Congress know. But with that, that's why I kept calling Congress weak as fuck. My is scared to death of them.
Yeah, it would help.
Because they have the power. They have the power to stop everything that's happening right now. They have the power to say, no, we're going to bring our troops home. Are they doing it? No.
Well, in the comments, Brian W. says, how many times did your God, Obama, do it? So he's suggesting that Obama
Obama was a lot smarter than Trump. He knew to go to his peoples first. Stop playing.
Well, did Obama go to Congress and declare war on anybody?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
But listen, Obama wasn't our God. He was just a better representative. He was a way better representative. So because y'all worship this orange Cheeto, stop acting like everybody else worshiped Obama.
Was
We know
Obama really?
We know good sense when we see it.
Was Obama really a better representative, though? Some would vehemently disagree with that.
Yes, he was, Tim. Whether they wanted to accept it or deny it or whatever, yes, he was. He was a better representative.
I'm hearing that Obama got us in. I'm hearing that Obama got us into
Obama's picture just as much as you see Trump's, because people had a lot of respect for that man.
A lot of people got respect for Trump too, though. Trump says we're more Trump says worldwide.
Angels that was kicked out of heaven.
Trump says worldwide. Now that he's in power, America is finally respected more than they were under Biden or Obama.
Where can you prove that at?
I'm just telling you what the man says.
Listen, he say a lot of shit, but where can we see that at?
Well, do you think the world respected us more under Biden than Trump?
I don't know if they did or didn't. They didn't react the way they are now. If they did, now you're talking about going after all these countries, Cuba, Venezuela. You're going after all of these people. It's an OPEC thing. He's going after OPEC is what he's doing. But everywhere that I see, you see people giving parades, dragging floaties with Trump and diapers and all kind of shit. And this is in other countries, not just here. I'm still trying to find where can we find this at? Where can we find that we're more respected now than ever? That's a lie. That's all he does is lie.
Well, I mean, under his first term, we had a good economy. Under his second term, before the war broke out, gas prices were fairly reasonable. Do you give him credit? He secured the border. I always bring that up. The border is fairly secure now.
You already keep saying about that border. We ain't not that fuck that border. How about that? And the border will never be closed. It never has been and never will be. The border's always open. However, he got these thugs over there now in airports and all kind of shit. If he had so much control, he wouldn't have to have anybody being bullied in the street. Obama did. He was the porter in chief. You didn't see nobody dragging through the streets. No. You didn't see he deported the entire family together. He didn't separate them.
Trump just wanted to let it be known who was in control. Gabe, appreciate that.
He had to been teased a lot at home when he was a little boy. He really did. He must have had an awful childhood because it spilled over into his adulthood, into him being a president. He acts like a man child.
I don't know. I think Trump is. I got to move it on, but I think Trump is simply doing what has worked for him very much in the business world, and he's a businessman running the country now. I think what he's doing,
and that's exactly why we're paying more for everything. And I don't for the life of me, I don't understand how those red hat wearers can see that. Say you're paying 40% more at the pumps and at the grocery stores and all of that shit, and say that this is exactly what we wanted. You're a liar. You're a liar just like he's a liar.
Short-term pain for long-term gain. I got to move it on, Miss Mobetta.
They don't even know what the fuck that means. They don't.
Miss Mobetta, I appreciate you coming through.
And one more thing, Tim.
Real quick.
You should be very selective repeating shit that they say, because they are the slowest bunch of people in the world right now.
I'll leave it at that. And by the way, many on the right suggest that the Democrats are the slowest group of people in the world. So we'll leave it like that. Tap the screen. I need you guys to get the likes on up to 30,000. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button. In the comments on YouTube, I've seen a few folks saying, how do you call in? Particularly Vincent Harris. If you want to be a caller, unfortunately, YouTube doesn't allow it. So we take callers on TikTok, Instagram, and Substack. Same name, Handsome Liberal across all platforms. So, and we don't block, ban, or censor you. So it doesn't matter what your politics are. We do it in an uncensored, MAGA-friendly format. So it does not matter what your politics are. We don't limit your time or try to direct your speech because we do believe our comments should go left of Mom Donnie all the way to I'm having dinner with Q. So everybody gets to speak. You can be critical of anyone on the program, including yours truly. You stop fluffing, I'll tap the screen, says Paul Bill. There's no fluffing here, Paul Bill. Anyway, now that we got the computer back up and running, I did also want to tackle, and we're asking, that is our primary topic, is the Iranian war a necessary war? And I played a couple clips before the computer went bad.
President Trump says that he doesn't want war with Iran, but that's exactly what he wants, because that's exactly what Saudi Arabia, Netanyahu, Al-Qaeda, Bolton, Haley, and other neocons and neolibs want. That's what he puts first, not America.
Now that was a Tulsi Gabbard 2020. What happened to that woman? That's what she ran on in 2020. We don't need a war, and even suggesting that Trump was working with Netanyahu and the Saudis to get us in the war. And after
the IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003.
I don't care what you said. I think they were very close to having one.
The IC continues to assess that Iran is not.
So there's her also. That was her. That was a little bit last year, or late last year. Once again, saying that they've assessed that Iran is not even developing.
Tonight, President Trump is being criticized for his
my slides are just starting. But anyway, you hear it once again. Her saying that this was not an issue, and Trump said, "I don't care what she says." I guess the first thing we want to ask is, why have these people in place in, national security positions if you're not going to take if you're not going to go by what they tell you or how they advise you, why have them there? Why have folks like Joe Kent as a counterintelligence director if what he gives you is meaningless? Same thing with Tulsi Gabbard. Why have these folks there? Are they just figureheads just to have them? I mean, because if you were going to get information suggesting that these folks already at the Iranians are doing this, it's going to come from your national intelligence people. If you don't take their word, then why are they there? Somebody let me know, how does that make sense? Tulsi Gabbard, if she's providing you with information that you feel is incorrect, she should be fired and replaced. Why is she still there when she's giving you information? Well, I don't feel what she's telling me is true. Then why is she still there? And also, assuming my computer acts right on this shit, I do have to bring up another clip that I played earlier, which is, this one is President Trump during the Obama administration. I'm just having fucked up computer problems all day today. I don't know why my audio is playing games with me. But
do the right thing.
Ability
President
to
Trump,
negotiate.
your Iran
He's weak and
strategy
he's
has
ineffective.
been.
So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran. Now, I'm more militant and more militaristic than the president. I believe in strength. But to start a war in order to get elected, and I believe that's going to happen, would be an outrage.
Now, I just want to bring this one up because he's accusing Obama of trying to start a war with Iran and get reelected. The reason why I'm playing this stuff is all of the things we're suggesting that made Iran a necessary target, all of that stuff existed when he was saying this. They were claiming back then that Iran was trying to get a nuclear weapon. They were claiming back then that Iran was a large state sponsor of terrorism. The attack in Lebanon had happened back in the 80s still, because he's using that now. The Iranian hostage scandal had happened back in the late 70s still, because he's using that now. Why was he in favor just a few weeks ago of attacking Iran and not here when Obama was president? The same case could be made against Iran then as he made now. What have they done? What have they done new since this video was made back in the early 2000s? What has Iran done now that makes them a necessary target that they weren't doing back then? I'm just trying to see, because I seem to view this as some sort of hypocrisy that I don't understand. Why now? Anyhow, continuing on with the program, I want somebody to help me make that make sense. MK1, Obama, damn. Same case during this first. Yeah, I don't see what Iran has done now that they had not done back then, or they had not done when Tulsi Gabbard was saying that, that Trump was going to attack him. Why now? What made it absolutely necessary to go into Iran now? Somebody let me know. I don't know what's happening with my box here, but we're trying to bring up guests. We'll continue on with John 3:16. Okay. Gonna give me a biblical reference. John, good evening.
Aha, I got you again. Oh man, this is too much fun. What's going on, Tim?
Not much at all. Why now with Iran? Was this a necessary? Well, I think you already kind of answered this question, though.
How's that?
I can hear you.
I said, how is that? How did I answer?
No, I believe you. I asked you before. Did you think this was a necessary war? I think you're on this side that it may not have been.
That's right. That's right. This is the handsome conservative.
Yes. You guys going through so many damn names at this point. I'm getting used to the voices, but every time I talk to you guys, you got a different name. So,
oh no, I told you before, when TikTok started playing games with people's profiles, I made like 16 of them.
I don't even have that, and I'm trying to host a damn program. But and I see somebody that Mr. Bill says it most definitely was not a necessary war. It was only for Israel. Do you believe that Israel can convince President Trump, the leader of the free world, to go and start a war?
Yeah, we've been down this road. Israel did the first strike, and then America jumped into it to support its allies. That is exactly what happened.
Why MAGA is overwhelmingly, now you're a conservative, you're not MAGA. You've admitted you've only voted for Trump.
I am absolutely not I'm not Republican, and I am not MAGA. No, you're right.
You are conservative. I
am a conservative family value.
Which leads you to generally vote for Republican candidates, correct?
I have voted the other way at times. I did vote for Clinton. I did vote for Obama the first time.
Okay. I don't know why a conservative would vote for Obama. He's definitely liberal. Or
I liked Obama. I watched Obama. I watched Obama run the first time he ran, and he had me on a few issues. So I gave him a shot.
Okay, fair enough, but he certainly is no conservative. That's all I was saying. If you're conservative and you're voting for him,
he turned out not to be. You're right. He's not a conservative.
He didn't campaign on. He didn't even.
Points.
He never. Obama never even campaigned on leading you to believe he would be conservative in any way, fashion, or form. I mean, he was liberal from day one.
Right, but he had some good talking points when he ran the first time. I like to make my mind up as the person's running. I don't want to judge the whole party as one thing. I like to think for myself.
What talking points did Barack Obama have that convinced a conservative to vote for over? Now you're voting over. Wait, hold on. A long time ago. Here's the reason I'm asking. You're picking Obama. Did you vote for him both times or one time? First or second?
No, I just voted for. I voted for him the first time, just like I voted for Trump the first time. I voted for Trump once. I voted for Obama once. I voted for what was his name?
Bush.
Clinton. I voted for him. I voted for him.
So if you only voted for Obama, once, that means you voted for Obama over John McCain, but you voted for Mitt Romney over Obama, correct?
No, when I voted for Obama, and then I set the other one out.
Here's what I don't get: if you are a conservative, Mitt Romney is about as red as they come. So you're like, you would have supported Mitt Romney.
No, I didn't like Mitt Romney. I did like what was the guy with the goofy ears? What was his name?
Barack Obama.
He was a business. He was a businessman. No, he was a white man.
You're not talking about Ross Perot.
Ross Perot. I loved Ross Perot. That was it. Ross Perot.
You're throwing your votes away when you're voting for these third party people.
Am I really? Because look, what did I always say? If you want to vote for somebody, that's you. That's you. You vote for who you want, dude.
Yeah, but hear me out. You vote for Ross Perot, and he causes George H.W., the conservative, you split the vote. And so Bill Clinton won because Ross Perot siphoned off 20% of the conservative vote.
Well, I think honestly, and I know you got topics to talk about, but I think honestly, it might be a good idea to have a third party.
Oh, it's a great idea.
Instead of just a two-party system.
It's a great idea.
Just because sometimes I don't agree with the Republican Party. Sometimes I don't agree with the Democratic Party. You know, I'm not against having choice. Having choice is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
I don't think it's always a bad thing.
A conservative saying that having choice is not a bad thing. I think there's a lot of women that would say that sounds kind of foreign. You believe in choice.
I'm talking about voting.
I know. I'm playing with you. I'm playing with you. But I think everybody would agree with you, though, that we need more than two parties. The problem is there's too much money in politics to get that. But I think everybody would agree that we need to have probably 4 or 5 different parties. But 2, they certainly should.
Look, I just want to encourage everybody, no matter what anybody says, vote for who you want to vote for, and don't let somebody tell you you're throwing away your vote. Vote your conscience. That's the best advice I can give. Vote your fucking conscience. If it's a third party, it's a third party. If it's somebody that doesn't stand a chance of winning and you believe in them, give them your vote.
But you don't play into the game of the lesser of two evils, though. I mean, let's say you really believe in a guy that has no chance, but the actual Democrat or Republican candidate, you believe in them less than the guy you really believe in, but you believe that Republican would be much better. Let's say you got Mamdani running against Trump, people who are completely on opposite ends of the spectrum, and you got another candidate that is more favorable to you, but you know at the end of the day, the winner is going to be Mamdani or Trump. You don't go with the lesser of the evil. You vote for the guy who has no chance.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because at the end of the day, when you walk out of that voting booth, you got to stomach who you voted for, and you got to justify who you voted for. I wouldn't let you tell me who to vote for, and I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want me to tell you who to vote for.
Right.
It's just a respect thing. It's a respect thing. I have conservative family values. That doesn't mean my brain is shut down and I don't agree with certain things on the other side. It just means that I have conservative family values, and that's where I usually come from. I
don't know. I may differ from you in this because I agree that you should vote for who you favor, but I also believe in the lesser of two evils. I mean, when you listen, if it's Bush running against, some left candidate that's, they're just both slightly off center, that's one thing. But if you got Trump running against Mamdani, where both of them are far right and far left, I got to go with the lesser of two evils.
Well, I mean, I did it your way once. I did do it your way this last time. It was Trump or Kamala, the lesser of two evils. I voted for Trump.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean,
wait a minute. That's what so you voted for Trump over Kamala this go round?
No, I'm sorry. It was Clinton. I'm sorry. I've been talking.
Oh, yeah, you went to something totally different there. Okay, that's different. Yeah,
I apologize. Wrong woman. Same party. Wrong person.
Okay, that's different.
My bad.
And in the comments here, real quick, Big Cat says, "Where is BB?" I'm assuming that means Netanyahu started a war and only shows up in AI videos. What do you say? BB Netanyahu's no longer with us? Wasn't he on? Because he did disappear from the public eye for a minute, but he came back. I think Netanyahu's okay. I think he's okay. So,
he's hiding underground somewhere in a bunker while 18,000 missiles hit Jerusalem. And he's hiding. He's safe.
Yeah, but if you listen to the press or the media, it makes it sound like Israel is having no problem shooting down everything that Iran is sending.
Yeah, but if you watch Al Jazeera News, you'll see that 18 rockets were launched into Israel, and they shot 2 out of 18 down. 2.
So I got to ask you, conservative, what happened? We used to be the nation that boasted that unlike places, abroad, you could get free press in media here, and we didn't censor things like some of these other nations. But now we're in an environment where you, me, and many other viewers feel confident that the war coverage we're getting on American media outlets is not even fact-based. That they're deliberately lying to us about the cause of the war, what's going on in the war, who's winning the war, all of that. We're now starting to sound like we live in China.
Well, it used to be that way, Tim. It used to be, back in the 70s and the 80s, and I don't want to give how old I am away, but let's just say I'm up there. Back then, you could get honest news, but today it's the same. The politics and the money, and the money, and they're being told what they can report on and what they can't report on. So now we have the internet, and now that we have the internet, you can pretty much go on and pull up any news channel using a VPN around the world and actually get what's happening. You don't have to settle for MSNBC,
do you feel confident?
CNN, Fox News.
Do you feel confident that we'll continue having access to it on the internet? If they're playing games on the media outlets, do you feel confident that they may not try to censor what you're getting on the internet as well?
They can try, but using a VPN, I'm not the sharpest pencil in the box, but using a VPN, you can pretty much get around almost anything. And Republicans and Democrats know that. I encourage everybody to just use a VPN if you want to know what's really going on. Hop online, give a fake address to another country, and just use your VPN and find out what's going on, what they're reporting on.
Well,
you'll find out what's going on. Yeah.
Based on what they're telling us, as opposed to what you're seeing, what is your analysis as far? Because Trump made
my analysis as far as the American news media.
Yeah.
My analysis is they're getting paid off.
What about the administration?
They're getting paid not to report certain things.
Paid off by who?
Paid off by whoever's paying off the government. What is that? The Israel lobby or a number of rich people that don't want the truth getting out there. I don't know for sure, but I do know that if you pull up news from other countries and you look at what they're reporting, and then you watch the news from that day in America, it's two different stories that we're getting. So somebody is paying somebody off. It's common sense.
Well, I heard you mention
being honest.
I heard you mention Israel. I see folks in the comments putting AIPAC and everything. Like, I gotta tell you, between you guys
thank you guys.
Yeah, between you guys and the likes of Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and all of these folks, I tell you, Israel's really looking like the bad guy. People are making Israel look like they got us into some shit. Either paid us off or just bullied Trump or whatever the case may be. It just got us into some shit.
If you're a Republican, I'll just say this, not you personally, okay, but if you're a Republican and you truly want America first, there's only one way to get America first, and that's to get rid of the people who are bribing the politicians on both sides. There is no right, there is no left. They're all taking the money. Even AOC, pull up her freaking bank accounts. Pull up what kind of money she gets paid and how much money she actually has. All of them are dirty.
I think
if you want politics.
Yeah, but I think the problem is.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think the problem is when you go to Washington, most of the folks that are operating as a senator, congressperson, or in many of the national positions, they could make a killing in the private sector. If you make it so that these people can, if we take money out of politics, are we sure we will still get our best and brightest minds to run the country? Because the best and brightest can make a ton of money in the private sector.
We would have people running the country whose main desire would be running the country. We would have people in there that were on the right-hand side or the left-hand side wanting to do the job, getting paid more than enough to live. They get great benefits. They get great pay. They don't need to take money from Israel. They don't need to take money from donors. They had to pass a law to make that legal. It was illegal at first.
Yeah, but
there was a reason for it.
This is the same reason why many on the right are against stuff like universal health care and stuff, because they say if you limit the ability of, let's say, pharmaceutical companies and the medical industry to make, a ton of money, it will stifle innovation and you're not going to get the best and brightest minds in those industries. And I'm saying, I'm trying to see if that would not convert to politics. If they can't make a mint.
I don't think so, Tim, and I'll tell you why. People have passion. Whatever your passion is, you're going to find a way to do it. Some people want to run the government. Some people want to be businessmen. Some people want to do shows on YouTube like you do, and you do a great job at it.
Thank you.
That's your passion. If we took money out of it, and I mean, they'd get a decent living and they'd get good health care.
If I didn't get folks supporting the program, I would do a few less lives. I do have a day job, so coming down here, I would do a few less lives. I mean, at the end of the day, if you take all the money,
I sent you a super chat. I sent you a super chat on YouTube.
Oh, thank you. I didn't see that. I'll have to look into it. Appreciate the support, though. Thank you. So you believe that you would just get genuinely passionate folks that wanted to do right by America, and we're not doing it for money.
Dude, you got people that want to be artists, they're artists. You got people that want to run government, they run government. You got people that want to make cars, they make cars. They design things, they make clothes. I mean, people have dreams and love to follow their dreams.
Well, let me just say, hold on one second. Hold on. I want to address this. I take this as the highest compliment I can get. Coming from Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma is indeed a red state. Oklahoma City Thunder says, why I'm still watching this liberal is wild. I take that as a very high compliment that an obvious conservative is saying that, you know what? This is an interesting program for somebody on the other. Thank you, Oklahoma. But go ahead. I just saw that and it made my eyes go. But go ahead.
No, I was wrapping it up. By the way, that's an awesome comment.
It is. It really is.
Take a lot of pride in your show.
Thank you.
Honestly, it's the only show that people can just be honest and just say how they feel, and that's cool. I think people would still be wanting to do all kinds of jobs without being bribed to serve another country.
But what about the phrase "power corrupts"? What about the phrase "power corrupts"? That because there's a lot of folks become cops and things like that because they want to make a difference, but when they find out that they can have so much power and make money, it changes what they originally got in. So what about the phrase "power corrupts"?
Okay, let me put it this way. There's no perfect answer for what you're saying.
True.
I mean, there's always going to be somebody that's like that. But I'm just saying, if you had to pass a law to make bribes legal, then there's probably a reason you had to pass that law to make bribes legal.
Okay. That's a good point.
Okay. The country ran fine without taking money from other people. But we
might have just didn't know it was happening. It might have been happening behind the scenes and you just didn't know about it.
Man, to be stupid again, that would be great. Okay, look, man, I know you got a show to run, but honestly, yeah, Israel started the fight. We jumped in. to support our ally. We were going to jump in anyway, but I mean, we needed an excuse.
Fair enough.
So yeah, Israel's doing this.
Ridiculous, but okay. And you're not the only one, obviously, that thinks like that, but it is what it is. Appreciate you coming through. Thank you very much, Handsome Conservative.
All
right, moving on with the program. Something we talked about on my live the other day, but I couldn't go too deep into it because we didn't have the ability to bring up callers. But I do want to briefly address it now if I can. I don't have my graphic here, but what we were talking about, you guys know that Mueller passed away, former FBI director Robert Mueller, and President Trump took to social media and stated, "I am glad he's dead." I want to ask you guys something before I do. Tap the screen if you're watching on TikTok. Get the likes on up to 40,000. Smash that like button if you happen to be watching on YouTube. Helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA. This is indeed MAGA-friendly programming. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. This is uncensored programming. You can be critical of anybody on the program, including yours truly. So I'm going to ask that you tap the screen. Happen to be watching on YouTube, smash that like button. If you're watching us on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack, follow the program. Watching us on YouTube, give your boy a sub. Now, we talked about this because President Trump seemed to be kind of gleeful that Robert Mueller had died. And I asked the question, why was it so wrong for folks to criticize, or better yet, celebrate or make comedy about the death of Charlie Kirk, but many of the same folks that were angry about folks celebrating Charlie Kirk's death actually gave Trump a pass for doing it on Robert Mueller, not to mention Rob Rayner, meathead from All in the Family. He did it on his death as well. What is the difference? I do want to ask you folks, I would love to get some MAGA in regards to that. Why is it acceptable to criticize one individual in death and to suggest it is dishonorable to do it to another? Somebody help me make that make sense. Because President Trump literally said, "I'm glad he's dead," when Robert Mueller passed. And both Trump and J.D. Vance are talking about finding folks who criticize Charlie Kirk and firing them from their place of employment. Is there hypocrisy? How the hell does that work? So I'll look in the comments before we go to the next caller. Iran, China, and Venezuela commies who paid Democrats all being exposed. How are they being exposed? What type of exposure has Venezuela received as a commie, as you're calling it, that paid Democrats? I haven't heard anything Trump said that suggests that Venezuela was paying off Democrats. Are you making it up as you go along? I have not heard that. Iran is not a threat. One of my viewers says, that is the president you support, the dipshit. Why did you support that laughing lion communism, Harris, and tampon Timmy Walsh? Well, I don't have any evidence to suggest that Kamala Harris was a communist. None whatsoever. This is what was said about Obama when he was president. He was going to be a communist, we had 8 years of him. The country did not come anywhere near becoming a communist nation. So I just said this before I go on to the next caller. If you are on the right and you debate with anybody on the left, particularly people of color, it's not long before they may throw out the racist word. Many suggest that the left throws around racist so much that the word has been diluted. Well, that happens on the right as well. If you're on the left and you debate folks on the right, it's not going to be long before one of them calls you a socialist or a communist or one of the other ISTs that's not capitalist. Once again, very similar to racism, the word becomes diluted because the right is calling everybody on the left communist, no matter what affiliation. They're calling them all communists, socialists, and fascists, or whatever the case may be, diluting the word just the same. So I do want to point that out, because got somebody here now suggesting that Kamala Harris, who really imposed no policies whatsoever, when she was running for president, what did she suggest that indicated she was a communist? I don't know. But this is what the right does. All of the folks on the left are communists. So if you don't like everybody saying racist all the time, but you're okay with that, then you're kind of losing your credibility. Let me go back to the box. We'll make it happen with that says dad of 2 girls. Tap the screen. And by the way, folks, help your boy out with the TikTok cap. Had mustache go. Helps out the program. Thank you very much for your support in advance. Dad of 2 girls. Good evening. Are you there? Apparently not. We'll move on to the next caller. Don't know what happened there. He was there, and then he wasn't. So continuing on with have a good. It says Brandon. Good evening, and let's go, Brandon. Is that what I'm looking at? We're trying to bring up guests. I don't know what's going on. We're trying to bring up Mike, I think, is in here. Or who do we get? Will Stout. Kamala Harris had no business running for presidency, and everybody knows it. It was supposed to be 3 candidates to choose from. I don't agree that she had no business running for president. I mean, she might not have been the best candidate, but I would put less of blame on Kamala Harris. Hang on a second, Will Stout. I would put less blame on Kamala Harris and more of the blame on Biden for taking too long to acknowledge reality. Will, good evening.
Going back to what you were saying earlier about Robert
Mueller, yes, former FBI director.
Yeah. The issue is there's not an even playing field on either side.
What do you mean? Elaborate.
The President Trump was impeached for abuse of power for investigating Biden for
by Mueller
in Ukraine.
By Mueller?
No, not by Mueller.
I'm trying to find out from you, why is he saying he's glad Mueller is dead?
I'm just using this as an example.
Okay.
So when Trump gets out of office, the Democratic Party goes after him for all sorts of crimes, knowing that he's going to run for president again. I mean, he ran for president in 2000, 2004. He's been doing it since the 90s.
I don't get your point.
Surprise that, huh?
I don't get I'm not getting your point though. What are you trying to say? I get that he believes that people were needlessly targeting him. I understand that, but I don't get your point though.
That's just the whole the thing is where people are, they do this whole, they're doing it to justify because X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z.
Okay, so you're saying, wait, okay, you believe the Democrats wrongfully targeted Trump. So Robert Mueller is a conservative, by the way. He's never been a Democrat. He is a registered Republican, or he was a registered Republican. So what is Trump because Trump believed people were targeting him? He just takes on the mantra of, I hate everybody?
And yeah, I mean, people of power do it all the time.
So then it's acceptable because he just targeted. So he's just lashing out. Does that make it acceptable, or do you think he's wrong in doing this?
I don't see it acceptable. I mean, I don't see 90% of what is going on in office is acceptable, regardless of who's in power.
Wasn't he? Now, did you vote? You voted for Trump, correct?
I did not. I didn't vote for him in any of the elections. This last election was the first election where I refused to vote because I didn't like either candidate.
So you didn't vote for Trump or Kamala. What about Trump and Biden in 2020?
I voted for Jorgensen.
And Trump and Hillary Clinton in 2016?
Johnson.
So you've never voted for Trump at all?
No.
Okay. All right. I was just trying to figure out where you were on this. So you're voting
politically, I stand as a right-leaning libertarian. I'm pro-choice. I am pro-choice.
Mm-hmm.
So I have views that fall on both sides.
Nothing wrong with that.
The thing is, huh?
Nothing wrong with that. So even though your candidate of choice has not won in the last 3 elections, how do you feel about President Trump, the way he's governing America now? Do you think he's doing the best he can? Do you think he's doing a good job? Do you think he's failing America?
I think he's rolling into the just right into the usual politics where you have both parties pitting the public against each other.
So
it's just been the game for a while.
So as opposed to draining the swamp and exposing the deep state and not being a typical politician, you're kind of making Trump sound like he ain't no better than what we've been dealing with over the years.
Yeah, I would say that.
Why do you think MAGA views him so favorably? MAGA is suggesting that he's the best president we've ever had.
I mean, he's controversial, and people love a controversy.
Is that all it takes to be America's best president? Just be controversial?
Yeah, I mean,
would that work with you? If you voted for Jorgensen, you said you voted for Jorgensen. If that individual just turned out to be controversial, would that be enough to make you think they were a great president?
No.
But it works for MAGA.
I'm not the vast majority, Tim. I'm kind of in the minority when it comes to politics.
Yeah, and for the great, thank you very much. Appreciate that ad mustache for the great. I get what you're saying. So,
the problem is both sides need to start policing their parties.
Yeah.
Stop making it like, the best comparison I can come up with, it's the new religion. More people have died in the name of religion than any other form of death combined, Tim.
Yeah. I believe
in the
that.
history of the world.
I believe that.
And now we have politics. I've heard people shout out blue no matter who. I remember growing up in the 80s and 90s where you could call somebody out for being a POS because they were a POS and wouldn't be called a racist or a Nazi or a moron because of their political views. We need to get back to that kind of mentality.
No,
when people kept saying, I voted for Biden, Biden's better. It's like, how is he better? Like, he didn't make the country better.
Well, I can explain that. When you, like I mentioned earlier, if we're talking about George W. Bush and Bill Clinton, I think what you're saying may have more weight. But when we're talking about folks that are on the much further ends of the spectrum, like going from Trump to Biden and from Biden to Trump, people on both sides of the aisle are going to absolutely say that the other person made the country more better because they're so far apart. If you're a Democrat, everything about Trump is horrible. If you're a Republican, everything about Biden is horrible. So you're absolutely going to believe that going from Trump to Biden made the country better, and going from Biden to Trump, MAGA's going to absolutely see that as an improvement because they're so far apart on the spectrum.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's but they're in bed with each other.
Biden and Trump?
Republicans and Democrats.
No, in this environment? No.
It's him.
Not now. I would have agreed with you. I would have agreed with you, like I said, during the Bush and Clinton administrations, but not now.
Answer me this question.
Yeah.
Answer me this question. When is the last time in American history that you're aware of immigration's customs and enforcement being deployed to investigate fraud?
Everything Trump is doing is unprecedented. National Guard to U.S. cities. I mean, Trump is using ICE kind of like his own personal police force. So it's never happened before because of how he's using these entities.
That's a job for, the FBI.
I agree. I totally agree.
So you have Tim Walz coming out and saying it's the new era of white supremacy. And then you have the Republican Party responding with ICE. Okay, we're no longer focusing on the fact that taxpayer money is being siphoned for God knows what. I want answers to that. I don't care if these people are here legally at this point. They're subject to an investigation. Let's figure out where this money is going first and foremost, and then deal with the, immigration status after we figure out the theft and fraud issue first.
Well,
deporting these people doesn't do anything about figuring out the what and who's responsible.
Wait, hold on. You gotta look at because you're saying focus more on the fraud and things like that before deporting the people. I think you have to understand what President Trump has led folks to believe as to why they're putting deportations over figuring out where the money. Trump has convinced folks that these folks being deported are here to rape and murder everybody. That would make them far more of a threat than financial fraud. That's going to make people want to focus on getting them out of here first above everything else, because folks believe that they're here to steal and potentially commit felonies against American citizens. That's why they're giving that precedent over everything else. People believe illegal immigrants are a danger to us all.
Well, our immigration system is broken.
Yeah,
the only way for for people, the human race, to subside, to continue to thrive, is for cultures to blend.
What do you say? Open borders?
Not necessarily open borders, but make the immigration process easier. The average American can't even pass the citizenship quiz. Why are we making people come in here and answer questions like how many states there are?
You want somebody to come?
Stuff like that.
But you want somebody to immigrate to this country and not even know something as simple as how many states the country has? That's a pretty simple question.
It is a pretty simple question, but you have the average American asked on the street how many stripes are on the American flag, and they say something weird like 10 or 14. It's like,
yeah.
Jay Leno did it in jaywalking. A bunch of late night hosts did it, where they asked just random questions and to people off the street, and people from other countries can answer it better than people who grew up in this.
Wow. You raise a good point, because if you are coming here, let's say you're an immigrant coming to the country because you got a specialty as as an oncologist or something. You're a doctor from India or something coming to the country. You really don't need to know all that civic shit to be a productive member of society. You're kind of right about that. They don't need to know all of this. I mean, look, the Constitution is something you should learn, but at the end of the day, you can hire a lawyer. They're going to defend your constitutional rights for you. You don't really need to know them like that. So you raise an interesting point about how difficulty civics tests and things like that are for a foreigner trying to come to this country. I mean, I can't argue with that.
We crack down on immigration like the Republicans want. We're going to end up in a situation like Norway and Sweden. Did you know if you want to date in Norway and Sweden, you have to register with an app that is controlled by the government?
If you want to date, like you want to?
Yes.
No, I don't believe that. No,
it's true. The reason why it's regulated by the government is the gene pool is so thin. The dating app automatically screens out people you're related to.
Well, you don't want people dating their cousins and all that shit. But because I migrated,
just passed a law saying you can marry your cousin.
I'd have to see evidence of that, because when I left to migrate,
look it up. It's true fact.
Well, when I left to migrate to Australia, I was debating on countries that I wouldn't mind living in, and Norway was one of them. And I did research on Norway. I never heard of no shit like that. I ended up choosing Australia because it was going to either be Vancouver, Canada, the nation of Australia, or Oslo, Norway. Those are my three countries I had looked into going to. I ended up picking Brisbane, Australia because of the language barrier. I never heard anything like what you're talking about. And I see somebody in the comments said all white countries.
Health Organization, 20% of marriages on average worldwide are between cousins. That's according to the World.
Yeah, but how far down the line? Is it your 13th cousin or something, or is it your first cousin?
I think between first or second cousins.
I mean,
according to that study.
Because they say we're all only 7 degrees, what is 7 degrees of separation. So I mean, we are related to 6. Okay, 6 didn't even close. But I mean, at the end of the day, we all are probably related if you go back far enough.
I have a theory.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I mean, Genghis Khan eliminated a third of the world's population.
My God, I've read Bill O'Reilly has a book that he talks about Genghis Khan and how many children that guy's DNA. I mean, it's like a ridiculous. It's like a ridiculous amount of people that he must have impregnated. He was just banging everybody.
I think that's where we get the 6 degrees of separation. I think it was from Genghis Khan being a super breeder, where they say 1 in 6 people on average has direct lineage to Genghis Khan.
The man had a lot of fun in his life. I got to move it on, but the guy obviously had a lot of fun in his life. Is this our first time talking? This is our first time talking, is it?
I've tried to get on before to chat with you and whatnot. I just I never made the cut. You've always cut the thing beforehand, and
well, we're glad you came through. Now, I appreciate you coming through. Come on back anytime, Will. Appreciate it. Thank you. And
I do appreciate having a constructive conversation with you, not being called names afterwards.
We don't do that here. We don't do that. No matter what your political affiliation is, we never do that here. But Will, I gotta go. Thank you for coming through.
Alrighty.
Appreciate it. All right, moving on with the program. And in the comments, Paul Bill, you talked about my countries were all white countries: Norway, Vancouver, and Australia. First of all, Australia is not all white. There's plenty of Kiwis, Fijians. Australia is very similar to America. The original inhabitants were black, and the country was conquered and colonized by whites. There's a lot of black and brown people in Australia, so you're absolutely wrong on that. Norway probably more so. And I got to assume Vancouver, Canada is fairly diverse as well. So I think you're kind of wrong on that. I went by everything from the happiness index, cost of living, the availability of resources and things. That's what led me to those 3 countries. But in terms of, suggesting that Australia or Vancouver, Canada is all white, that is absolutely not true. Real quick in the comments, though, the worst president in history, stupid, a pedophile, liar, and a racist who hates black people. What part don't you understand? Yikes. Tell us how you really feel. 100% more than they should be if they're settling to just play sports for life. I don't get what you're meaning by that. Vancouver is not a country, dumbass. Yeah, but it's a city. Just like I mentioned Oslo, Norway, and Brisbane, Australia. I guess you didn't hear the cities. You were just too busy looking for something to criticize there, Jonathan. But I appreciate your input. You don't know what you're talking about, but thank you very much. Did you know that if you're Israeli, you get free health care? Did you know if you're Israeli, you can come to America and get free education because their government pays for these things for their people? Well, most civilized countries, and thank you, Sexy Red, appreciate that. Most first world and developing countries give their citizens health care. America is the only country at our level that does not do that. Most European countries, even the Eastern European countries, but all of the shit in Western Europe, Sexy Red, appreciate it. All of the countries in Eastern Europe look out for their, Western Europe, and most of the Eastern European countries give their citizens universal health care. America is that kind of country where the wealthy are like, we shouldn't have to look out for the poor. I figured it out. You need to figure it out, or kind of like a don't ask me for shit mentality. in the comments, yes. What does that say? You don't have the unredacted files. What are you guys talking about? Everyone on Epstein Island is related. I don't know about that, but let me continue on with the program. We'll go to further grade. So you're holding there. Good evening. You are going to have to put Gangsta Grandma on your Billy Wop. I don't know about that just yet, but thank you for that. That's funny. Further grade. Good evening.
What's up, Tim? How you doing,
bro? I'm doing good. I'll ask you starting out. Why was Charlie Kirk's death, the ridicule of Charlie Kirk dying, viewed so differently than actually celebrate the death of Robert Mueller by Trump? Why did they treat him so differently?
Because, you know, Kirk was useful for the cause. You see, they turned his home going into a rally.
Yeah.
I don't think they could have did that with the Mueller thing.
So in other words, they don't give a damn about you making fun of somebody dying as long as the person helped them out in life.
That sounds about right. I told you a while ago when that AI ear scratch happened, he was like, man, no sympathy for the guy. Sympathy to a guy that just retweeted that shit.
Okay, well, first of all,
this is just the latest.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, and I do agree with you in regards to it does makes you question folks who ignore Trump saying, I'm glad a person. I mean, that's worse. That should never come from the president. I don't care what kind of grudge you have against someone. As the president of the United States, you should never say, I'm glad another American citizen died. But you said the AI ear. Are you suggesting that the assassination attempt on Trump was not valid?
I don't think it was. I think what was valid was the man that did lose his life. I think that was just, I don't know, something that the plan didn't plan for. Like I said, man, I'm not really that guy, but this guy sparks a lot of that shit in my brain because a lot of shit that happens around him because of him or what he says, like today with the market. I mean, what the fuck are we doing here?
What did he say?
I can't keep ignoring what I see. That's all I'm saying, Tim.
In Oklahoma City Thunder enjoyed it. He said about to go, but what do you mean by the market? What did he say about the market? What are you talking about?
No, I'm just saying the market it flashed up at about another 400 or 500 points, and then some guy betted on Polymark $1.5 million that it would. It just seems like every time there's a shortfall or a windfall that the good old rich know when it's coming.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I do believe that there's going to be a hell of a lot of insider trading investigations after Trump's term is over with. It's going to be family members and all. I mean, Marjorie Taylor. Now, folks talk about Nancy Pelosi. She made a killing off of that, but under the Trump administration, it's fairly obvious. I mean, I'm not saying that corruption did not take place in politics before Trump. I'm sure there's a ton of liberals that were involved in this shit too. I mentioned Nancy Pelosi, but with Trump, they're not even trying to hide it. It's like a crypto and you're doing television commercials on the White House lawn. I mean, they're not even trying to hide it.
And then what's so crazy about it is that, when people needed SNAP funds, he was just like, fuck them. He was like, fuck them. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny, but it's sad, man, because he's supposed to be the president for everybody. And I mean, I guess, is this going to be a new trend? Is this what we're doing now?
Why would he supposed to be the president for? Why would you say that? Did you not see his campaign? Did Trump campaign in a manner that indicated he was going to be the president for everybody?
He didn't. I said he's supposed to be.
Okay.
I didn't say he was.
There we go. There we go. All right, we get it somewhere.
Yeah. I said he's supposed to be. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I mean, he's definitely not that. But it just, I was going back and forth with Gen X talking about Charlie Kirk. Nobody cared about Charlie. Who the fuck was Charlie Kirk? He didn't serve his country in no way or the other. He served MAGA. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I guess if you're MAGA, then we care. If you're not MAGA, we don't. The little girls that lost their lives on an accident, if they had red hats on, maybe we'd care. It just seems to be the thing that's going on around here, man.
Yeah, I would agree that Robert Mueller served America significantly in ways significantly greater than Charlie Kirk. I mean, he spent most of his adult life. I mean, he served in war. I mean, so yeah, he served America in much greater ways than Charlie Kirk ever. I mean, Charlie Kirk wasn't alive long enough. Now, maybe Charlie Kirk could have got into political office and surpassed Mueller, but considering how young he was when he passed, he didn't come close to serving America as much as Mueller. So yeah, I agree with that, but I don't understand how. Listen, I'll just say it like this: I don't understand how anybody could be okay with a president saying that he's glad one of his fellow citizens is dead, unless it was like a Jeffrey Dahmer or some kind of serial killer. Why would any president
or Osama bin Laden?
Yeah,
or something,
well, he's not a citizen, but yeah, somebody like that.
Yeah, and that's what I don't get. You know, for a while there, you know, I used to blame Trump, but I say about a year or two in his first presidency, I'm like, no, the culprit is his supporters. They feed the beast and he feeds them. So, you know, until they hold him accountable for something, ain't no telling what the fuck this guy do. Because they always get on, you know, we voted, you know, before he got elected. No, don't you want no new wars? Don't you want cheap gas? Don't you want this and that? He gets in there. Yeah, this is what we voted for. Is it?
Well, the belief is that we're only dealing with short-term pain and Trump is going to roar. America's going to come roaring back better than ever before. That is the promise from Trump. That yes, gas is high right now, but eventually, soon, brother, not just eventually, but he's saying soon, gas is not only going to come down, it's going to be even cheaper than it was before the war began. So folks, have faith in the president.
I get it. Like I said, you know, I told somebody the other day, how much is a liberal? How much is this liberal tears and owning the libs cost to you? At some point, you're going to be upside down on this mortgage. Because, I mean, you're paying a lot for owning the libs at this point. So, hey, you want to be broke and you're 4x4 wide with your MAGA hat with no heat, no gas, no job.
Oh, my God.
Just to own the libs.
But you do realize a lot of MAGA are suggesting that under Trump, they're actually prospering right now. A lot of MAGA say that they're doing well under Trump.
Like I said before, a lot of people said they saw a man walk on water and turn, you know, fish in the bread and, you know, water in the wine. So, I mean, I guess, you know what I'm saying? Hey, believe what you want, but I know what I can see and tangibly touch, and that's not the reality where I'm at in this country.
Well, let me ask it to you this way. Were you doing better under Biden than Trump? I mean, your personal finances, were you personally faring better under Biden than under Trump now?
Yes, I was. Like I told you, man, last time I was here, you know, you can throw this shit away, man. This administration is not going to get any better. There's no proof that he's going to turn any of this shit around. You know, people told you about the 6 bankrupt businesses. Oh, that's what a businessman do. But this businessman is bankrupting this fucking country.
Wait a minute, though. What about the expansion possibilities? Right now, we're potentially, who knows how far we're going to go with Iran, whether we're going to end up getting any of their resources out of this or not. We'll just leave that in the air. But obviously, we're in control of Venezuela to some degree. He's talking about Cuba next. I suppose Greenland is still somewhat on the table. If he expands the United States in as many directions as he's talking about, is it not possible we could be a much more powerful and even stronger nation than we are today?
No, I mean, power because we have land. I mean,
well, they're resources too. They're not just land, they're resources.
Okay, that's great. But like I said, now you're one man on an island. You know, opposed to where you had allies and maybe you could do some things with other people. Now it's us versus the world.
Well,
we're not going to win that.
Well, how about this? In the comments, e-commerce guy says, we have massive amounts of investments coming into this country. What say you?
Is that what he said verbatim?
That is, we have coming into this country. That's a quote.
Okay, Tim, we're business. I'm going to turn to you. We selling fucking potatoes. We're going to have massive investments coming into this fucking.
Well, what he
sound just like the idiot and chief that we have up there every fucking day.
Well, but hold on now. In defense of what he's saying, there has been a lot of folks, business execs, CEOs that have made promises, not official commitments on paper, but have made promises that they're going to bring a lot of industry and plants back to America. That could be what he's talking about.
Could be. I once told a girl in 6th grade that I would never leave her. We'll be together forever. Things change, I guess.
That's really good. That's actually pretty good. And that could be what some of these promises amount to. That's funny.
I mean, there's never no ink to deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As I ran the first people to come out and say he ain't talking to us. Is that the first time we've heard that from somebody?
Yeah, because
he's supposedly dealing with.
Yeah.
They said, yeah, we're having talks. They like, we ain't talking to that motherfucker. We don't know what he's talking about.
He does often tout having great conversations and things like that don't go anywhere, because he after being made to stand down on us taking over Greenland, he came. We made a great deal with Greenland. To this day, nobody has heard any parameters of any deal we've made with Greenland. What do we get out of it? You know, when does it start? When does it expire? And there's nothing to suggest that he made a deal with Greenland beyond what he's saying. I haven't seen any evidence, any proof of it. You don't see any congressmen or senators on TV talking about it. Nobody knows anything about this great deal he made with Greenland, but he does say he made a great deal with Greenland. So you are right. He does say things like that.
My point, Tim, is the reason why people outside of MAGA say it's a cult, because he never provides any proof of the shit. He says shit, and it never happens. You know, so on the outside looking in, we're like, hello? It's like the 10th time he's done this shit to y'all, and y'all not catching on? I mean, are we missing something? I mean, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? So that's why we look at you guys like you're in a cult. You know, and it's funny, but kind of react, get up here just twisting the wind like a kite. Hurt. This, it could have been a cadaver. You know, I mean, just the random shit that has nothing to do with politics comes out his mouth.
Well, I will say this: if the things that says do eventually culminate into reality, he could walk away being a really great country. If the stuff he says actually pans out, because he does, you're right. He makes a lot of big, bold assertions and predictions and things like that. If that stuff turns into reality, he would be a fantastic president. It's just unfortunate that most of the stuff he says, it does not, because he made a great deal with Kim Jong-un in his first term. Nothing came out of that, but he's claiming he made a great. Had Putin over here last year for summit in Alaska. He laid out the red carpet. Once again, he had a great talk. So he does say that, and I guess you got to take it with a grain of salt, which is what you're pointing out, that MAGA takes it as face value.
Well, like I said, I didn't see you Google anything. I'm just freeballing it. You come off with about 3 or 4 just off the dome.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, if we dive into some shit, it's probably going to be a lot more.
Yeah,
so at this point, like I said, I think Mike said it, that these people let him treat them like they don't let anybody else in their life treat them. You know what I mean? And your wife, got some big bull on top of it. She said, hey, babe, hold on. In 2 weeks, this is all going to make sense. It's going to be a massive investment into our household because I had to do this.
Oh, my God. No, that ain't going to make sense in 2 weeks. It ain't going to ever make sense.
Nah, but you know what? All they got to do is like, hey, man, I voted for Trump. Well, let me close the door. Let me know if you need some water. I mean, that's where I know I'll just be, what I mean? I'll give you some cool.
Thank you.
We grew up in a time where the president didn't move this way. So maybe we are to get off our long shit. But I'm just telling you, I've never seen this. I know that. A man
that's nearly 80 years old trolling people on the internet. That's like, that's like having an 80-year-old man rip jeans and shit. It does seem a bit. Look, I like the fact that he's still in it, people, but deliberately trolling and just trying to spark up anger. I don't get it. It just makes no sense to me.
It's tacky, man. And this the most ghettoest ass White House I've ever seen.
But what about this? In the comments, Sarah London says MAGA believes white people are the victims. Do you see any validity to that? That maybe he's getting some love from particular people because he believes that he's going to straighten out ways that they're being maybe mistreated or forgotten by society.
I can't take credit for this line, but it's so true. This generation of white people, your papa would be fucking, he'd be rolling over his grave or house off y'all. He'd really be, because you know what they used to do? They'd smack one of us in the head and say, get the fuck out the way, give me this job. Y'all sitting up here crying because people said the other day, because to them, equality feels like oppression.
Yeah, it is though. So, equality, if you're used to being on top, and all of a sudden now you got to be equal to everybody, it is oppression. I can understand it. If I know, let's say we're in a society that's dominated by African Americans. So I know when I go to apply for a job to be a cop or to be a fireman or to be a lawyer or something, I know only black people can get this job. So my competition is limited only to black people. All of a sudden, if you give everybody equality, now I got to compete with women and Hispanics and whites. Yeah, I've been reduced. Now I don't get the favoritism that I would have used to get in society because now I got to compete with all these other folks that normally would have been excluded from this. So I can understand how it feels like oppression because you have been greatly reduced. You didn't have to worry about any of these other folks in line applying for this job. They weren't going to get it.
So was that DEI then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I look at
on the same page.
Yeah, I look at let's say the Tuskegee Airmen, the pilots from World War II, who were so trained, whites started requesting them. Obviously, they were very skilled at what they did. So after World War II, they couldn't go on to fly commercially or even deliver mail and shit like that because of their skin color. Yet they obviously were more experienced than many white pilots that got the job. So yeah, there were plenty of whites getting jobs based solely on skin color and DEI, the same stuff they're calling it now. That's what I always say. DEI is kind of the American way. It's always been DEI. It just now is working for minorities versus whites. That's the only. You used to have to be white to get most managerial positions in America. So your skin color absolutely played a part in it. But now, because some companies want to be diverse and hire blacks or gays or whatever. Yeah, people are complaining about it now, but we've had DEI in this country since its founding.
So we want to go back to, I guess, white tea supremacy, the time where that was running rampant, and the people that wanted, we had to sit there and just take the shit. Oh. You notice what we did, and we really were the minorities, and we really was the one being discriminated against. Guess what we did? We pulled our fucking asses up by the bootstraps, and we went to school, we worked fucking hard, we did all that shit. So you telling me that the white team man that's screaming discrimination don't want to work? Don't want to pull himself up by the bootstraps?
Well, they don't
want to get an education?
Yeah, but
I don't understand.
But in defense of the white man, understand because they have...
Please, black man, tell me.
In defense of the white man, understand they don't have to work hard and pull themselves up by their boots. They have majority. They have the numbers. So as opposed to working hard and finagling a way around the system like, let's say, blacks or minorities did, it's enough of them that they can just vote and change the law to be more in their favor. They don't have to work hard. They can just put in the right politician and change the law.
Interesting. So I don't care about the border at all. I think I've told you that before. Yeah. I'm more worried about the people that's inside this border that was born and raised here. Those groups.
What are you talking about, Negroes in the hood? You're more worried about Negroes in the hood?
I ain't worried about them because I grew up dealing with them. You know what I mean? I know how to move around them. It's those people that, shake your hand and stab you in the back. You one of the good ones. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You 6'6", 300-something pounds. You said, I made you feel special. He saw your big ass. He saw you.
Well, he did. I'll just say, when I was at the Trump rally, I was only about 5 or 6 rows back. So, yeah, I think he said something about tariffs at the time, tariffing John Deere because they were making products in Mexico and then bringing them back, and he wanted to tariff. And I thought what he said made a lot of sense. And I stood up and gave Trump an applause. And he saw me because he pointed at me and winked. And yeah, it does have an effect on you. I mean, you know, it does. So I can understand the adoration of Trump. He just has a way of making you root for him. It's just something about the guy. He has a way of making you root for him.
Maybe I had to be there, Tim, because the guy I see on TV, I don't get it. Like I said, I've never gotten it. I look around when I'm in a room by myself, like, did y'all just hear this bullshit? Like, who the fuck? Who the fuck thinks this is?
No, I can still hear I can still hear the bullshit. I don't deliberately turn a blind eye to things I know he's saying. It doesn't. Look, I'll give him credit for stuff he says that makes sense or things he does that benefit America, but I don't turn a blind eye to stuff that I know is a lie, like saying that the Iranians bombed their own school full of girls. When I hear stuff like that, the diehard MAGA, I don't try to make up.
Man, I'm just asking. Like I said, I thought it was just me. I know when I see him talk, I just don't get the appeal. I don't the people that want to follow this shit. I don't understand it, you know. But see what right the fucking head going right to the. I mean, he's made at 79 years old, but everything aboard. Once again, I asked his supporters, what are we supporting him getting richer while being president?
Yeah,
come on, people. I mean, they talk about Nancy Pelosi. I never heard them talk about billions with a B.
No. And what I don't like about that is that Trump is going to come presidents, though. But he is setting a precedent of what future presidents can do and get away with, because, I mean, a president with his own cryptocurrency, my God. Like, why would anybody be? I mean, crypto is like literally one of the best ways to president to have his crypto. That's crazy. But turn a blind eye to that. To me, that is about as out in the open you can be in terms of corruption. Not to mention telling people to buy Teslas on the White House lawn. Some of this stuff is like, listen, King B, or whoever just sent that, I appreciate that. Thank you. But that's what I'm saying is that I believe all politicians have their share of corruption going way back before Trump. But the Trump administration, they don't appear to even be trying to hide it. They're just out in the open doing it. And that's what makes it worse, is that if you can do it this openly, then we're setting a new precedent to how much corruption we're willing to accept.
Hey, Tim, I know you got moving on, and I totally agree with you. I appreciate the time. But it's funny how you can prosecute fraud and also pardon fraud. I don't understand how the fuck does that work. You know, and then with these pardons, victims not getting their restitution.
Good for me, not for thee. Good for me, not for thee is how it works.
There it is.
Appreciate it for the great
screen. Get Tim up, man. Let's get this live popping, share, and do all the good things.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Tap the screen. We should have been around 60,000 by now, but I think the next caller at 50. FIDY. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. Certainly need you folks to tap that like button on YouTube, if you will. This is uncensored programming, as it always is. Whoa, Blue One Banks. Appreciate that. I haven't seen one of those in a couple of days. So thank you for the good Galaxy Blue Banks. What Democrats lack in brains, they make up for in hatred, says Robert Kennedy. I assume you see hatred coming from the Democrats, but nothing but love coming from the right. President Trump suggesting that he is glad Robert Mueller is dead. I don't think Trump's a Democrat. Does that sound like love to you? Anyway, yeah, it's pretty vain to think you're smarter than billions and billions before and billions after your time. I don't understand that comment, Sean, but fucking bullshit, Timmy laughing. What are you talking about? More creepy forcing your daughter to shower with a grown-ass man, says Snuggles. Is that the Snuggles I think it is? Good evening, Snuggles, if it is. Let me just say this, because I believe that's a dig at Biden. I think you'd be on to something if Trump wasn't the other side of that. Because you could talk about the allegations that Biden showered with his own daughter, but then you have to also respond to Trump saying that if she wasn't his daughter, he would be dating her. So he's literally talking about he would be fucking this kid, and she was an underage child at the time. He would be fucking her if she wasn't his kid, because no man says he wants to date a woman that's not fuckable to him. It's the only reason why we go out on dates is we want to fuck you. We don't just want to take you out and buy a couple of drinks and waste money on you. The goal is to get in them draws. Let's be honest. So when you look at your own daughter and make a statement, if she was not my daughter, I would be dating her, that means you're basically saying that she is fuckable to you. That's what Trump said. So like I said, it's okay to point out showering with your daughter, but if the other side is Trump, then you don't have a safe side to return to. But looking in the comments, let me go back to said comments. We'll go to Sexy Red. And what do you mean proof, e-commerce? We'll bring you up and show you proof.
Hold on, you fucking ratty raccoon. So you think just because you take snow roaches out there.
What the hell are you talking about?
With anything, come on. Because, honey, not this one. Honey, a date? You think you'll get in my jaws or take me out for
that ain't what I said. What? No, you're hearing things that wasn't said.
You said that you want. Okay. You said on a date that it's at the end of the night you want something.
Bullshit.
You know what?
Bullshit. That's not what I said. Bullshit.
You fuck a hole in
okay, you're just rambling on. You didn't hear what I said.
Be quiet. I did.
No, you didn't hear it. You're still talking. You ain't fucking listening. I said the only you still ain't listening.
Your bald head ass down. Oh God!
All you're doing is
don't even talk to the white man like that.
All you're doing is talking. What I said is I said the only reason a man takes you on a date is because they want to fuck you. That don't mean they want to do it. You still ain't listening. You're just talking. You're not. I have not completed a sentence yet. Not one sentence. Not one sentence.
God.
I said the only reason a guy takes you out on a date is because he wants to fuck you. I didn't say on the first night, but that is the goal, is leading up to that.
No, I see you fix to get me locked up and put in TikTok prison for real. Let me act like I said, you numb nut. Get the fucking wax out your ass. Get the cum out your fucking mouth. That's what the fuck I said, Negro.
What did you say?
Shit, you'll get me back into TikTok prison for real. Because that's what I fucking said. You fucking numbskull.
And what you said didn't fucking make any sense,
goddammit. That's what I said.
It didn't make any sense.
You couldn't even get that. You're just fucking holding on whatever fucking mind. Let's change the subject. Damn.
Yo,
those snow roaches.
Wait a minute. No, let's not run from this. Let's have a conversation. So you're telling me dudes take you out and they have no desire to be with you intimately.
I didn't say that.
Then what the hell are you talking about? Then why the hell did you go off?
I said I'm not giving it up. Don't ever get that shit twisted. They want this kitty cat. But unfortunately, this kitty cat is shut the fuck down. And so I see some real BBC, and that motherfucker's got the same damn thing I have. 6 figures, he got 6 figures, we're talking. If you broke, you're bum, we ain't talking.
You basically... I
gotta be nice.
Yes, I see.
You guys quit reporting because you're going to get him reported.
Yeah,
don't you guys comprehend it? If you don't like what I gotta say, move on. But quit being rats.
It only happens when
you're going to get him violated.
But it only happens when you come up here. They don't like you.
It is because you know why they don't like the truth. The white tea people don't like the damn truth. You know, why don't you keep it a buck and tell them what you say in the back end? You glad I speak the truth. Why don't you tell them that? Tell the white man that. Tell them that. Tell the truth, though, Timmy Tim. Tell them.
What the hell you think I say on the program all the goddamn days? I'm for free speech. I don't censor.
No. You say you like it when I get on to their asses. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
Don't be all fake now.
How about this? Gen X says I got 6 figures. Does that mean I can hit it against the grandma?
Hell no.
Yo.
Hell no.
There you go, gay.
I'll never sell my soul to the white tea devil. No. I don't like the side Manila. I know the uncooked meat.
I thought you.
Hell no.
Here you are suggesting the guy has to have 6 figures. Gen X wants to break that off, and you now all of a sudden you playing games.
He could go break it off with a snow roach, but not this way.
I thought
Black all day, baby. Chocolate all day. I know. See, I can't do the uncooked protein. I know. If he's the last man on earth and I need some ding-a-ling, I have my fingers before that. Hell no. Hell no.
What about if he did it in blackface? Would you then be okay with it?
Are you serious, Tim? Are you serious?
You sound like you want it dark.
You'll put him in the ground, won't you?
What are you talking about?
No, I couldn't do it.
I'm trying to help you
You're gonna put a trash bag in a white team, man, and I still couldn't do it. I'm not taking it for the team. You can go take it for the team because you like the snow roaches. Not me.
Okay, now you.
I don't like roast beef. You know what I mean? Like,
roast beef is dark. That's brown.
No. Have you seen the middle? It's all good. Actually, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do pink like that. My sisters are chocolate, and they have the flavor to it. The other shit is not done. I couldn't do it. I promise you, when I see Madalia, her shit, I said, fuck that. Couldn't do it for the team.
Gangsta Grandma, it's all pink on the inside.
No, well, there's a certain kind of pink. Nasty pink to nice pink. Black women, nice pink. Snow roaches, nasty pink. Like that stanky booty, like fish, like tuna. Hell yeah, couldn't do it.
And I see in the comments,
they got a smell to them that I couldn't do it. No.
Snuggle says crazy. Snuggle is racist as fuck.
You know what? Did you know what's so funny about me being so racist? And I haven't said not one thing. I said
you haven't?
It's racist. It's racist. I call it snow roaches. You know what they call us? They call us monkeys. Do they not? They call us the N-word. Do they not?
No.
Well, what else have they called us? What else?
You don't. Wait a minute. You don't think? Hold on. Hang on.
White-made racism.
Hold on.
Not the black folks.
You don't think? There's no way. There's no way in hell you think that all and monkeys. You think?
You know what? You know what, Tim? You are one of the. That's why when Donald Trump raped you, you were smiling because you love sucking his dingling. You feel what I'm saying? You trust the white tea man. You trust their asses, and they'll put you in a damn tree for real.
What
have? Put you in a tree. I don't trust maggots. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. I don't have friends that are maggots. I shit you not.
What the hell? Wait. Oh, when you think about the fact that most African Americans meet their demise at the hands of another African American, why are you blaming it on a white man?
Here we go. Black on black crime. It's not that, Pookie. You in a black hood, you're gonna be a black victim. You're in a white tea hood, you're a white tea victim. And who is the most?
I don't even agree with that. I don't even agree with that. You're wrong.
No, it's not.
There you are.
Who is the most dangerous of them all? Who is the most dangerous of them all? You know what? Get the white cock out your mouth because you're feeling the piss.
No,
you're. If I was there, I'll promise I'll be sucking you the fuck up. Because let me tell you something. When it comes to the shit, there isn't no black on black crime shit. It is because of the white tea man says the shit. Get the fuck out of here. Get the white cock out your mouth. Because let me tell you something. There's more white tea on crime than anything else. Who's the one that tried to shoot up his own people? The white tea man. Who does the school pupils? The white tea man. You can't even go to church without the white tea man going bipolar. Who is the one that's doing the most? The white tea man. So be quiet and shut your black ass up.
You are absolutely wrong, and I'll tell you this. You make it sound like that crime is only based on proximity. So black on black. No, you're wrong, because I'll tell you this. If you are a black person living in a black neighborhood versus a black person living in a white neighborhood, you still, as a black person, have a higher chance of being victimized by the black people you live around than moving to a white. You're wrong. You're wrong.
You know what? I'm going to hurt your feelings really bad, and I don't give a two fucks. You don't come after the white man. You don't come after the white man, do you? No, you just like sucking your cock, right? So let me break this shit down for you again. Okay? Get the white cum out your mouth. And then you might hear and get out your ears because you're taking in all your fucking holes. You feel what I'm saying? Let me tell you this again. It's proximity. No, if you're in a black hood, you're going to be a black fucking victim. You're in a Mexican hood, you're going to be a Mexican victim. Now, why is it that when, oh my God, a black man is unaliving a black man, what do the white tea people say? Oh, it's black on black. Oh, I'm so scared. But unfortunately, see, the statistics ain't going to lie to you. It's the white tea man that does the most crime.
You are
shaking your fucking head.
You are needlessly demonizing white people.
Okay. Go look at the statistics. And then come and give me the damn numbers.
I'll tell you right off the bat.
Proximity. It's proximity. Because if you really know, the people that get arrested the most, are black people. But they do get out of jail and stuff being not being innocent. Yes, it is. Let me
tell you why I disagree with your proximity claim.
I don't give a fuck if you disagree.
You hear about African Americans. You hear about African Americans being victimized by other African Americans when they live around blacks. But when African Americans move around whites, you rarely ever hear about white neighbors victimizing the African American that lives there.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, a white teen woman pew-pewed in Florida, a black woman. For doing nothing wrong. What the fuck are you talking about? Are you stupid? That's why I tell you, you're an undercover fucking maggot. You like sucking on a white man's cock so goddamn fucking bad. We are more victims to the white man than we are them. So shut fucking ugly ass. We're not the ones that peeping up our damn schools. You know what? My kids went to hood school and graduated and going to Stanford. I don't hear I do not hear the fucking hood schools getting pew-pewed up though. Do you hear that? I don't.
I'm just going to tell you.
I swear to God, my kids went to black schools.
No.
My kids went to black schools. And not one pew-pew shooting was in a black school. So shut your ugly, ratty, fucking rat ass up. They really don't. Because we don't make national television. You know what's the only thing bad about black schools? I ain't going to lie. The weed. They be small TV.
How about the actual?
All right, you might get your ass whooped.
It's more than weed. It's more than weed.
And not once did they come back unalived. So shut your ugly ass up. It's the white tea kids that go ballistic and pew-pewing up shit. It's the white tea man that grapes our people. Shut your ass up.
You sound like somebody that's never met a white person you liked. You just sound like you hate white people.
Who did it? Who said I did it?
Your language.
I didn't say that. See, I'm not like you. I don't have that cocking in my mouth. I spill the fucking facts. If you don't like it, oh fucking well, Tim. Oh well, Tim. You like the white cock. You like the sardine crackers. You like it all of them up. I don't. I stay in my black hood. I stay in my black business, and I know what I say. And that's it. And if you don't believe me, go look up the statistics. Thank you. Numbers don't lie.
Okay, I'm going to tell you there are plenty of African Americans that live in neighborhoods that are diverse, or many, when they get middle class or even upper middle class, they oftentimes move in neighborhoods that are more so white, and you don't hear about their neighbors victimizing them.
Okay. Comprehend this, you fucking numb nut. Okay? I'm Afro-Latina. You know what hood I'm in right now?
No, I do not. They removed Gangsta Grandma from the program. I can't control that. Apparently she got taken out. I'm not laughing at Gangsta Grandma. Gangsta Grandma is always welcome back on the program. We don't always agree, but I do have no issue with folks coming on the program that disagree with me. This is uncensored, but I'm laughing at CPT Cowboy. He says, Tim, are you looking for a Fox News job? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But listen, you don't have to be dishonest to be pro-black, a liberal, conservative, or even pro-white or whatever the hell you want to go with. I just think what she was saying is not accurate. I do believe the proximity thing changes in certain neighborhoods. I mean, I think if you live around poor people, you have a greater chance of being victimized than living around middle class or people that are affluent. I mean, because people who are affluent, they got shit to lose. They don't go around committing little person actions and car thefts and shit like that. And when you're poor, yeah, you live around your own type, whether you're white or black. But when African Americans, for instance, become, let's say, middle class or even affluent, they tend to live in neighborhoods that are more diverse. And they don't, the level of victimization changes. That's all I'm saying. She didn't agree with any of that. I get it. I disagree with her. But anyway, looking in the comments, though, Tim, she is right, period, says Erica. Erica, I wish you could come up. Racist equals MAGA says she is always there. Wow. She went and sold her food stamps for 50 cents on the dollar. Instagram has her own business. I don't know if she's selling food stamps. Anyway, tap the screen. I see Moach Man says she is an idiot. Tap the screen, get the like us on. Smash that like. You're watching us on TikTok. If you haven't been watching on YouTube, smash that like button. Helps out the algorithm. We don't block, ban, or censor. The whole country is being victimized, so your point is pointless. The whole country is not being victimized at the level we were discussing. If you believe the politicians are victimizing us, that's a conversation. But if you're currently watching us on Instagram, YouTube, Instagram, Substack, or TikTok, feel free to follow the program. And certainly watching us on YouTube, give your boy a sub. We're here most weekdays. Very good show, says Jake. Thank you very much, Jake, for that compliment. I appreciate that. Her business was exposed. Said it out loud. She sells food stamps. That's her business. First of all, you're not going to make a lot of money selling food stamps because they don't give you a lot. So that's not much of a business. He lives in Chicago. I wouldn't visit Shy right now. Teddy Owens. Well, it depends on where you're going into Chicago. Chicago is not what the right-wing media portrays it to be. In fact, the right-wing media is targeting Chicago just because it's a bastion of liberalism. Governor's liberal, mayor's liberal, Obama's from Chicago. I mean, but Memphis, Tennessee, which is in a red state, is more dangerous than Chicago. St. Louis often ranks as the murder capital of America. Little Rock, Arkansas is not a safe place to go to. Neither is New Orleans or Baton Rouge. They're all in red states. So Chicago is being targeted just because it's liberal. There's nothing else to that. If you Google or Grok or whatever social media platform you use, the top 10 most violent cities in America, you're going to find a lot of cities that are in red states that are above Chicago. Yet when you talk to right-wingers, they believe Chicago number one. The numbers don't add up to that. Chicago has only 5 neighborhoods that are bad. The majority of Chicago is nice if you ever visited. Well, I've lived in Chicago a large portion of my life. They got more than 5, way more than 5 bad neighborhoods. The south side of Chicago there's multiple neighborhoods and there's violence all over the day. I can name 5. 5? Really? You only see 5 bad neighborhoods. Them neighborhoods must be huge. Yeah, Chicago got way more than 5. The south and west sides are the biggest sides of town, and there's whole bunch of different neighborhoods on those sides of town. So 5, yeah, yes, you really downplayed it with that. Jesse Jackson had a friend. What was his name again? Oh, that's right. It was Donald Trump. And what does that got to do with it? Trump has not been friendly with Jesse Jackson as of late. Oddly enough, it's interesting that he would claim to be a friend of Jesse Jackson's, not lower the flags to half mast, not allow his body to lie in state, and not show up to his funeral. Does that sound very friendly to you? Maybe he used to be friends with Jesse Jackson, but his actions as of late don't appear to be. You didn't even come to the dude's funeral. How the hell are you going to come across and say you're afraid of him? You lowered the flag to half staff for Charlie Kirk, and you didn't do it for Jesse Jackson? That don't sound like much of a friend to me. I think calling Trump and Jesse Jackson a friend in the 2020s is really, really stretching it. Maybe back to the 1980s and 1990s friendship thing, but the way he treated Jesse Jackson in death, that ain't a friend. That's not how you treat a friend. The flag would be half staff unless it was on a boat. Then it would be half mast. Okay, half mast. There you go. My fault. Half mast. What the case may be. I now remember why I quit watching this channel. It says Holsing. Why did you quit watching it? I'm glad to have you back. Let me go back to the box real quick, looking in the comments. And by the way, we are asking that. Why was it okay to suggest anybody criticizing Charlie Kirk after he died be terminated and lose their job? And yet President Trump said, I'm glad Robert Mueller died, and MAGA seems to be okay with that. What's the difference? Why was one okay and the other shamed? And of course, I do want to play this. We played this earlier, this quick clip from the campaign. And I want to ask you folks, do you believe the Iran war was actually a necessary conflict? Did we really need to do that? Because and I don't know where my computer. I want to play this clip for you, but shit.
He doesn't want war with Iran, but that's exactly what he wants, because that's exactly what Saudi Arabia, Netanyahu, Al-Qaeda, Bolton, Haley, and other neocons and neolibs want. That's what he puts first, not America.
Now, that was a Tulsi Gabbard 2020 campaign run. That has aged like milk, considering she's now part of the administration. But you hear her suggesting that Trump only wants war with Iran because of the Saudis and Netanyahu doing it for him, or directing them in that path. And she's since came out and said even more controversial statements since becoming part of the Trump administration, which is leading me to ask that question. Are we dealing with a war that was actually necessary?
President Trump, your Iran strategy has been ill-advised and very short-sighted. You need to change course now and get back into the Iran nuclear agreement before it's too late. Set aside your pride. Set aside your political calculations for the good of our country. Just do the right thing. President Trump.
This is Tulsi Gabbard. What happened to this woman? Trump's administration. This is her statement a few months ago.
IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003.
What she said, I think they were very close.
Their intelligence suggests that Khamenei, and then you hear Trump say, after what she said, I think he's doing it. I asked this earlier. I have to take her intelligence reports. Why give her the job to be the person that looks into this shit if you're not going to take her word? This, to me, kind of plays into her claim that you're listening to Netanyahu and the Saudis more than you are your own government. Why have her if you're not going to take into consideration anything she says? And this is in addition to, obviously, you guys are aware that Joe Kent, Trump's counterintelligence director, just recently resigned, stating that he too believes that Netanyahu was the reason that Trump got into the Iranian war. But before I continue on and start taking callers, I played this earlier because this was Trump back during the Obama administration.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran. Now, I'm more militant and more militaristic than the president. I believe in strength. But to start a war in order to get elected, and I believe that's going to happen, would be an outrage.
So why is he against starting a war under Obama's administration? Everything that we're suggesting that Iran has done, being a state sponsor of terrorism, the bombing of the Marine base in the 80s, taking American hostages back in the late 70s, everything that we talk about that the Iranians were doing to America, the death to America chants and all of this stuff, all of that was happening when he was making this statement right here. So the question, what changed? What changed this Trump here criticizing Obama for starting a war to President Trump now starting one himself? Everything that he is suggesting that Iran did to lead us to going into Iran a few weeks ago, they were doing it back then when he was saying it was a bad thing to do. What changed? necessary. Welcome to the program. Not much. What changed? Now I know you believe the war was necessary. So
100%.
So why did he think the war was necessary when Obama was in office?
This is simple. This is simple math. Simple math. Your perspective changes when you are the leader of the free world and you're responsible for the lives of 370 million people and your allies.
So he didn't know what the hell he was talking about when Obama was in office then.
Say that again.
So in other words, his perspective changed when he became president. So in other words, what he's saying here with Obama, so he didn't know what the hell he was talking. He was wrongfully criticizing Obama then.
Much like you now. Yeah. I mean, until you are there sitting in that chair and you feel the weight of that responsibility, you actually don't, and you have the intelligence, and I don't mean smarts, I mean the actual intelligence of, what the other side is doing, not the intelligence to interpret.
No, I get that point.
By the way, hold on one second. And that's also, you answered the question right there about why you would hire people with differing opinions than your own. This man is not Xi Jinping. He's not looking for yes men or women.
Bullshit.
He actually brings in people that are going to present him with differing viewpoints, and you just proved it.
No, but you say that once you're there and you have the intelligence reports coming in, so why would he disagree with the intelligence reports coming in from his counterintelligence director, Joe Kent, or people like Tulsi Gabbard? That is the intelligence you're talking about.
No. Joe Kent, listen, you got to stop using Joe Kent, dude.
Why?
Joe Kent is about to go to prison for a very long time. He actually was under investigation for over 18 months, 19 months about him giving away intelligence. This dude he's going deep into the Who Scout. So every indication that we're getting is this dude they were watching him for a long time. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes people get in their little mindsets and they start like Tucker, and they start doing things that they normally wouldn't do.
So you're telling me
that they're right.
You're telling me former director of counterintelligence Joe Kent is going to go to prison?
Yeah. You will find out just how because they had already stopped letting him come into those meetings. He hadn't been into a high-level meeting in over 4.5 months. I haven't heard what you're saying, but I'll say this. I don't know enough to disagree or agree with you, but I will. Here's a problem I have. It's kind of odd how, because Trump said this guy was weak on national security, and some of the Trump administration is also suggesting this guy was an anti-Semite. It's odd that this guy had to resign It's odd that this guy had to resign himself for all this shit to come out. It gives off the inclination that if he hadn't resigned, he would still be the director of counterintelligence. It's just he knew that very shortly they were going to come and escort him out of the building.
How do you know that?
How do I know
that?
How do you know
he knew that? How do you know he knew that?
Because he quit before he got fired. He knew that he had a decent meeting or hadn't been in a high-level meeting in 4.5 months.
Where have you heard?
Hold on. He knew that he was contradicting everything that the president was saying and tweeting. And the president was, getting into these little Twitter battles or true social battles with this guy. And he works for the president. So your time is ticking when you start opening why do you think Tulsi, listen, here's the difference between Joe Kent and Tulsi. Tulsi has a differing opinion, but follows direction and does what the president asked her to do. At the end of the day, Trump can work with that.
Yeah, but Joe Kent, okay, I want to talk to you on Joe Kent because I'm dying to get your source on where you're hearing this, but I want to play this for you real quick. This is
says that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003.
What she said, I think they were very close to having.
So he said, I don't care what she said. I think they're very. Yeah. Where is he getting that from? If he's not taking it from her,
what she says either, because you didn't put 2 sentences. Play the 2 sentences before that. You love taking people out of their context. You started that woman in the middle of a paragraph just to make it look like
I don't
what
have
you wanted
it
to look like.
Okay,
I don't see that grin. You fucking
know you did that.
Okay, what? I don't have it right here before me. What did she say before this that you're talking about?
No, Tim, I would like for her to speak for herself. You caught her in the middle of a paragraph, and why I don't know.
What is she? Okay, let me hear her again.
How about do this? How about find out what the question she was asked? Then let's hear
that
her
doesn't
answer.
Make what you're saying based on her statement.
The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized a nuclear weapon.
What else is she? What can she? Hold on. What can she possibly say before that that's going to change what you clearly hear there?
Guess what? That's what you need to find out.
There is no need to find it out.
Why would you start her there?
Why
would you start her there?
That's
Why are you asking me when you're the one that is altering
stupid.
what she's saying?
To me that makes no sense. That's
and
like
I'm busting you out.
That's
right
like taking that's like playing a clip of me saying I am a 6'6", 300-pound black man. Well, I need to hear what he said before. That's not going to change that. What she said is clear as
day. What are you talking about? You do the same thing to Charlie. You're doing the same thing to Tulsi. You do the same thing to Trump. You catch a little clip of something that you think everyone will think is, crazy. You don't play what the question was. You don't play the whole thing. You love taking people out of context. And dude,
I don't know.
But it drives me crazy.
I don't know why it does. I don't know what possibly could have been asked for her based on what I heard. Hold on. If I played that clip for 100 people, they would have a clear definition of what that said. I cannot imagine.
Yes,
hang on a second. But hold on. I'm not done with the yet. If I played that clip and they had a clear definition of what they heard, I cannot imagine going back and giving them 10 minutes of what she said before that would change what they said based on the clip they heard. The clip ain't gonna change.
No, sir. That's not true. That happens to you all the time.
No, it doesn't.
Once you hear, yes, you do. Once you hear the entire clip in its context, then you can make a determination about what that woman was talking about.
No.
Listen to me. I'll do the same thing I'll do for you again. I will find the entire clip.
And it's not going to make a difference.
Promise me. Hold on. You got to promise me that we will come back on this show. You will play the entire clip and see if it doesn't change the flavor. I do this to you all the time, and you know it. If you're being honest, you'll tell these people I do it all the time.
Yeah. I don't believe this reminds me very much of Charlie Kirk, where you had clips and you said the same thing. If you listen to it all, it'll change. And it didn't. I haven't heard a single clip of Charlie Kirk. I actually did.
I know you don't play those clips.
I actually did with Charlie Kirk. I made a full video of him.
Yeah.
And it didn't change. And I asked folks in the comments, now that you've heard the full debate, did it change how you felt? You either like Charlie Kirk.
You never play those clips. And I also know that you've never talked about the things that I have brought to you offline. I only get a few minutes. 20 minutes to talk to you? We exchange a lot of information offline, right?
Yeah, we do.
A lot of information.
Yeah.
Okay. And we go on my podcast or my lives and we talk about it there, where I play the entire thing in context. I don't believe in taking people out of context because you can change the meaning of what they said. No one does that better. No one does that better on TikTok than you. The handsome liberal does a really good job of editing what people are saying to get the effect he wants.
I'm just going to tell you this. I never heard so many people before President Trump got elected saying that folks are taken out of context. During the Biden administration, nothing was taken out of context. When he said, vote for me, you ain't black, you didn't need to hear shit. When Obama said, we got to spread the wealth around. No, I never heard.
That's not true.
Bullshit. Give me something that Biden said that in context it made a difference to you.
I'll use that clip. I will use that exact
clip. Give me something.
If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. They played the entire opening of that Zoom. It was a Zoom that he was in on. And you saw the looks on the people's faces. People saw that in the context that was intended. The question, they did. The question was, You have members of this community that are asking this and that, and he said, well, I'll just say this. If you don't vote for
that
me,
opening statement,
you aren't blank.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is for people who only heard the clip that didn't watch the Breakfast Club and see the whole thing in full context. There are people there are plenty of people who did not see that whole interview on the Breakfast Club with Biden. That little clip was all they needed. They didn't ask. Well, it's taken out of context.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with that. There are some clips that you right. Something like that they did. Yeah, that was pretty point blank. I will agree with that.
And so was Tulsi Gabbard.
I would agree with that.
To the committee in advance of this hearing,
that particular question that she was asked, I don't have it on the top of my tongue right now, but that question, you've asked this one before. Listen, I don't know anyone that believes that the Iranians, number one, how in the world did they shoot ballistic missiles 4,000 kilometers when they were only saying that they had, when they were only supposed to have 2,000 kilometer missiles? How does that work? They lied about that. They lied about how much enriched uranium they had. They've lied about that. What will it take for you all to believe the Iranians? Don't believe Trump. Believe the Iranians, because the Iranians are telling you to your face, we want a nuclear weapon so we can destroy Israel, death to America, and we have missiles that go 4,000 kilometers. That's Brussels, that's Moscow, that's Milan, that's England, anywhere in England, basically, London, what will it take for you to understand that the president did the right thing and protected you?
What it would take for me to understand that the president did the right thing and protected me is the belief that Iran was indeed a serious threat to America. Just because they had the weapons, because what Trump was claiming that they had all these weapons, it ain't like that started with Trump. They were saying that under Biden, they were saying that under Obama, they were saying that under Trump. And Iran were not using those weapons against the United States.
Yeah, so you aren't convinced that that Iran could and had a weapon, they wouldn't use it against the United States.
100% not convinced. I don't see it.
How many cities would it take? Would we need to just lose the one city, or how many of those cities would it take? Because if they had the capability, and by the way, can I just tell you something?
Sure.
They only lacked about 1,000 kilometers. Okay. Because if they I'll tell you, because if they shot that straight up, it would have reached apogee in space, and it would have been able to be directed right on any. I'm
not arguing any of that. I don't think Iran's weapon capabilities is something I'm disagreeing with you on. What I disagree with you on and President Trump on is that Iran was a suicidal nation, and the minute they get their hands on one nuke, they're going to fire the one they got at a country that has 5,000 of them.
So
I don't believe that.
You don't.
I don't see Iran doing anything right now to suggest they're suicidal. You get told us this is the same stuff that was told to us about Saddam Hussein. He was suicidal. We found him hiding in a hole. Right. We found him hiding in a hole. He didn't want to die.
Yes, of course, because they were 100% correct.
No, you're 100% wrong.
I sent you.
You got to guess.
We go with my
you got to guess. You got to guess. Mike,
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Mike, this is getting wrong.
Thanking me, okay?
I got one question. Are we supposed to accept Donald Trump's lies on his foundation, regardless of what happened after the lie was told? Is that what you're saying, e-commerce?
Do what now?
Are we supposed to accept his lies? Because here's the thing.
What lie?
Either he said that they were obliterated back in June of 2025, right?
Yeah. Yes.
They didn't have any capabilities. It would take over a decade. Hold on.
No, you're conflating things. Can I help you real quick?
No, you're not going to help me because you can't help.
Okay.
I'm not conflating
anything, dummy.
Yeah, I know. I'm not conflating anything.
Yes, you are.
These were literally his words that they had obliterated their ability to enrich nuclear weapons, and their nuclear program had been obliterated. Would you like me to pull up the quote?
Yes.
So, wait a minute.
Did they have nuclear material already, Mike? Do they still have nuclear material?
Hold on. And then he said they wouldn't be able to do anything with their program for at least a decade. So I'm saying, so if
you
he
enrich uranium again, there's where your conflation is.
That's not a conflation. Listen, these aren't my words. These are his words.
I know you are conflating two different things.
Again, I am not. See, here's the funny part.
I know you don't think you are, but you are. I'm about to cook you. So please land this plane.
I'm going to blend it if you let me. It's talking over me because that doesn't work with me because I know my facts. If that's what he said, his intelligence community said that then. Matter of fact, Tulsi said they weren't even that they weren't even prepared with their program. She said it back then. He said he didn't even want to listen to his intelligence community back then. 8 months later or over a year later, now all of a sudden they're within 7 days. I'm sorry, 3 days, because Trump first said 7, then he said 3 days. Are we supposed to believe him then or now?
It's a good question.
Have we landed?
He asked a good question.
Can I remove my seatbelt?
That's my question.
Listen to me. I am. All right, now I'm going to ask you to go ahead and mute your mic and give me the same courtesy.
I'm not going to say a word. You got it.
Okay, so here's the thing. We eliminated their opportunity to create and enrich uranium. That's one thing. 13 different sites, Fordo being one of them. There's a bunch of different sites where they were enriching uranium. That capability was obliterated. They had nuclear material already that had been previously enriched. The Iranian foreign minister went on Indian talk shows, went on British talk shows, would tell anyone they wanted that they had enough material to make 10 nuclear weapons. They said that. And they also said they were working on a ballistic missile delivery system that they would be able to deliver that. Now, that is them saying we already have the capability. President Trump said, hey, as long as you are telling everyone that you have these capabilities, it is a green light for me.
Really?
And he went in and stopped it.
So we attacked him based solely on the threat?
Hold on. One more second. My landing gear is down. As proof of what I am saying, Iran launched 2 intercontinental ballistic missiles twice as long as the rest of the world believed they had the capability to do. They landed just shy of Diego, the island of Diego Garcia, which is twice as long as what the rest of the world believed, and that is why 22 countries are speeding their way to the Hormuz Straits to assist in keeping it open and keeping that country at heel.
Can you answer my question? That was a nice long rant. I appreciate that, but you never answered my fucking question. Was he lying then or was he lying now?
There was no lie. Every bit of it was the truth. That's the answer.
This is why you're full of shit, because that's not what your president said.
There is no helping these people.
Your president said, hold on. Your president and his intelligence community said they were nowhere close to developing a nuclear book. That's what
when did he say that?
Back in March of last year, back in June of last year.
Goddamn, dude. And as time went on,
and I finished. Wait a minute.
They became capable. What part of that do you have trouble with?
I'm about to tell you. I'm glad you asked. The part I have trouble with is the guy you voted for. The liar said they would at least be a decade. They could do anything. That's what he said. Would you like me to pull that up?
Which shocker, he was wrong about that. The rest of the world was wrong.
I'm not talking about the rest of the world.
Not just Trump.
I'm not talking. So he was
Saudi
wrong.
Arabia, UAE, the entire planet was wrong about Iranian capability.
How do you know they were wrong?
Can you let me finish? See, here's the problem that I have with this. You're saying they were wrong. I'm telling you that he lied to the American people. Number one. Number two.
You can be wrong, but you don't lie.
You can be both simultaneously.
I've been telling y'all that for months. It's finally sinking in.
But he lied, and I'm gonna tell you why he lied. Because his intelligence community told him they told him that before he even went in, and he lied to us again. Now, so I'm asking you, The reason we're over there was on a lie he told a year ago.
No, so we found out that 100% the truth.
So let me ask you a question. E-commerce. Let me ask you a question.
What would convince you?
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. It's funny that you said we found out. You know what? We had something in place prior to him getting in office that would have told us exactly where their nuclear program was. But he took us out of that program
because it wasn't working.
Wait a minute. Time out.
It's obvious it wasn't working.
Time out. Can you show me where it wasn't working?
That's a good question.
Yes.
Because all of the reports.
I can show you where it wasn't working. Yes, I can
pull it up for me. Go pull it up for me. But now, because when you talk about
all you have to do is go look at the ballistic missiles that went over Diego Garcia.
Let me finish.
All you have to do is look at the clips of the Iranian foreign minister telling you to your face.
Yelling doesn't make you right. It just makes you more moronic.
No,
I'm
saying from friggin'. I mean,
the EIA, when they were testing what they had over there, they had been enriching below the 3%. Yes or no? Yes or no?
They were well above.
No.
Well above. As we know now. I just had this argument.
Back in 2015, those numbers were low. When did those numbers go up? Can you tell me when those numbers went up? When? After he took us out of the deal.
5 minutes.
Yep, after he took us out of the deal, right?
No, the deal limited enrichment to a purity of 3.67.
The question is either it was after he took us out of the deal or before.
He had enrichment. They had found material enriched much higher, 20
after the deal or before we were removed from the deal.
When he took us out of the deal, they found enriched uranium over 20%.
After he took us out of the deal.
I'm reading it right here, dude.
Sure. After he took us out of the deal. I know what you're reading because I've read it.
At the time he took us out of the deal, Iran had enriched uranium over 20%, which means they were enriching uranium or purchasing enriched uranium that was over 20%.
Show us.
God damn, dude.
Show us.
I mean, how would you like this, dude? How would you like this?
I would like you to show me a credible source. Please.
Oh, here we go with that. And I will show you a fucking 50 sources, and none of them will be credible to you. I don't even know why I waste my.
Well, how straight? Hold on. Straight talk. Message him to me, and I'll pass him on to him. But I mean, because
I'm sure you will. Because all of the other information I've given you has been front page news on your shit. I mean, you got to be kidding me, man.
You know, the funny part about this,
I'm going to send it to Mike himself.
This question. You can send it to me. That's fine. See, the reason I asked you this question is you're asking us to accept the results of an action that started from a lie.
Yep.
I don't know how we can do that. I don't know how we can come to the conclusion that Donald Trump is doing this in good faith when he went into it with bad faith. He went into it on a lie. Let's just be honest. As a matter of fact, it's the same tactic he used in Minnesota when all he wanted was the voter rolls. Now all he cares about is the oil and getting the straight. But I thought he was trying to liberate the people of Iran, but he did it on 10-year-old data. That's how those children lost their lives.
You look for a reason to go against this president, and you guys need to be man enough to admit that. You need to be man enough to admit, like the Democrats. I'll tell you something. Hold on.
I don't look for him.
If you guys would stand on your toes and say, we want the government shut down because of this or this, you don't do that. You shut down the government and then try to blame others.
What are you talking about?
Shut the government down for something that you want.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How can the party that's not in charge shut down the government from the party that is in charge and in control?
Not, but by voting no for the bill that would open the government. I mean, that's simple. Are you really that dumb?
The Republicans voted no to seven. Count up to 7 proposals to open it back up from the Democrats. They voted no 7 times.
They're not the ones in charge. Do you not?
You just proved my point.
Republicans want a clean bill.
You just proved my point.
No. What I'm telling you is, but you're blaming the Republicans for keeping the government shut down.
He definitely proved your point. He definitely proved your point by saying exactly what you said. They're not in charge.
We're not in charge. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Well, I got to move it on, folks.
They're not in charge, but we need their votes in order, or at least a few of them. All you guys got to do is say, "Hey, hell no, we're not going to vote for voter ID."
You don't need our
which is
votes.
Something everyone in the country wants, practically.
Need our votes.
But hell
You're
we're not going to
president.
vote for this.
All right, Mike.
We don't want to open the government.
I got a couple more minutes for straight talk. Mike, last word to you.
You got it. Listen, all of this dancing around. You have the Congress. You got Senate. You damn near got the Supreme Court. You have every branch of government.
Oh, we got every branch of government. That's true.
But you can't move legislation through without the Democrats.
It will move through.
That's where I call you guys full of shit. Because you have everything you want. You have everything you wanted, and you're still whining about what the Democrats are or are not doing. That's the fuckery.
No, you have free shit from.
All right, Mike. I'll move it on. And I want to say it. Well, first of all, I want to play this. You kept harping on play the whole clip. I have the whole clip, starting with the guys asking their questions. So I have this for you. But before I play this, I do want to point out what your counterpart Mike was saying. If you're the leader of the country, it is your job to unite. So when the country is shutting down,
not necessarily.
Bullshit.
No, I object to that. Listen to me.
What is his job?
It's not your responsibility. Why? Why is it his responsibility to unite people who do not want to be united with him?
You don't think the job of the president is to try to bring the country together? Just say with these people, we're giving up on these people.
Yeah, exactly.
And how successful do you think a president will be with that mentality?
Well, it will probably limit his success, but that's where we are. Listen, I want a president that's going to stand on his principles. That's what I want. I don't want bipartisanship. I am not asking him to work with the other side if he doesn't have to work with the other side. It's only those things that we would like to get done where we need the other side, where you want to work with the other side.
Straight talk, I couldn't even run this show if I had that mentality. Well, they just, MAGA's just going to hate because it's a liberal, or the liberals are just going to hate because I got MAGA. If you make zero effort to try to unite the country, that's your fault as a leader. How are you going to tell me that's not your fault?
Give me an example. Give me an example of Joe Biden or Barack Obama or Bill Clinton trying to unite the country. Go ahead. Give me an example of what they did that you think united the country.
I saw Barack Obama when they were at the State of the Union address booing him. He said, well, if you want this bill, put it on my desk and I'll sign it tomorrow. I saw Joe Biden do it at the State of the Union address.
I heard Barack Obama say, I have a phone and I have a pen. Fuck you. That's what I heard.
All right. Well, let me just say this. Let's say Biden and Obama never did a damn thing to unite the country. Let's go with your take. That doesn't explain away Trump. Pointing to other bad presidents don't explain away this one. I don't understand why anytime somebody criticizes.
This is what's funny. Y'all want to treat the man like a piñata. Pull out the sticks, whoop his ass until he gives you candy. Okay? What you got was a junkyard dog. And every time you hit him, he bites you back. And that's what you're going to continue.
So that's what you think when he said he's glad Mueller dead, that's what he was doing, biting back?
100%.
Okay.
That man tried to put him in jail, tried to ruin his life, tried to ruin his family, tried to bring his sons in under subpoena. You goddamn right. And by the way, I want everybody on the left in this live to know, expect more of the same and expect Straight Talk Commerce to elect people who will give you more of the same. I want you to put my family at risk. Believe me, I can get more MAGA.
Well, I want you to also, to me, if you believe what you're saying, while also criticizing folks for having what you guys call Trump derangement syndrome, that sounds idiotic. To me, what you're saying is somebody who wants Trump derangement syndrome. You want people to hate him. I mean, if you're okay, bullshit. If you're okay with him, bullshit. If you're okay with him criticizing, if you are okay with him attacking a dead man, you want people to hate him. Period.
Hold on. Wait, Tim. You're acting like he attacked some random dead man. I am not. Listen to me. You and I walk into a bar, Okay? Guy comes over and punches you in your mouth. I walk out of the bathroom. Hold on. I walk out of the bathroom. I don't see him punch you in the mouth. I see you beating the ever-loving dog shit out of that guy. And you want me to blame you because your lip is bleeding and you took care of your business. That's what you want me to do?
No, because if you believe what you said, then you have no damn business criticizing anybody that attacked Charlie Kirk, because he attacked people too.
What did he do to you? Hold on. I wouldn't listen. Show me the video where Charlie Kirk said, "Tim, you are a low-life piece of absolute garbage. You do not deserve." Where did he attack you?
So it has to be to me specifically. What if he?
Of course.
So him saying all kinds of awful shit about Martin Luther King and black people, that he gets a pass for that.
He didn't say anything awful about Martin Luther King or black people. He loved black people. He took black people to the White House, paid for it out of his own pocket. He talked about Martin Luther King and how
you believe Charlie Kirk? Wait.
Started as a good idea and then turned into you guys.
Charlie,
you guys don't understand.
You believe Charlie Kirk loved the black people?
I do. 100%. Okay. It's demonstrable. It's not even, listen, you can make him into whatever kind of boogeyman you want, and sure, that feels good, but it's not reality.
Why would he say Martin Luther King is an awful guy?
Because he had his human failings. Same reason you guys say that about Trump.
Is Trump an awful guy? So then is Trump an awful guy? Is Trump an awful guy? Is Trump an awful guy?
You guys say he
I'm asking you. Is Trump an awful guy?
No, I think he's an absolute fantastic human being.
So is Martin Luther King an awful guy? So is Martin Luther King an awful guy?
No.
So then you should understand why blacks don't like him for saying that then.
No. I see where Charlie Kirk, in his view, would think that.
So you see why liberals would think that Trump is an awful guy in their view then, right?
I 100% understand that that's a reality.
We're getting somewhere then. We're getting somewhere.
Yeah, I 100%, because you guys he won't give you the candy that you want so desperately.
So why did Charlie Kirk, wait.
That you are
No. Why is it okay for Charlie Kirk, you see it clearly with Charlie Kirk, but when we say that Trump is an awful, well, now it's candy and all kinds of stuff attached to it. Both of these dudes had multiple.
No one took Robert Mueller's life. Robert Mueller died of a disease after he attacked the president of the United States. President Trump didn't do anything to Robert Mueller. He never tried to.
Mueller didn't do anything to President Trump. He didn't do it.
Yes, he did.
What did he do to him?
He lied. He tried to get him indicted. He tried to ruin his life. What do you mean he didn't do anything to President Trump?
So when Trump says that Biden stole the election from him, so when Trump lies about everybody saying that Biden stole the election, so people
go with the lies again. What lie are we talking about?
Have you seen proof that Biden specifically stole the election from Trump?
Have I seen the?
That's what he says.
Yeah. Well, look, I will tell you this. I think we're all about to see that, but I don't have it sitting in front of me.
All right, unfortunately, I'm going to have to move it on, but I do want to play this clip real quick before we move on. I want to get your opinion.
I would love to see this.
This is him asking Tulsi Gabbard about her statements, and she responds.
That opening statement, as submitted to the committee in advance of this hearing, stated that as a result of last summer's airstrikes, quote, Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated, end quote, correct?
That's right.
And is that in fact the assessment of the intelligence community?
Yes.
So the assessment of the intelligence community is that Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated by last summer's airstrikes?
Yes.
In the opening statement you submitted to the committee last night also stated, quote, there has been no effort since then to try to rebuild their enrichment capability, end quote, correct?
That's right.
And that's the assessment of the intelligence community.
Yes.
The White House stated on March 1st of this year that this war was launched and was, quote, a military campaign to eliminate the imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, end quote. That's a statement from the White House. Quote, the imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime. Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was an imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime?
The intelligence community assessed that Iran maintained the intention to rebuild and to continue to grow their nuclear enrichment capability.
Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, yes or no?
Senator, the only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
False. This is the worldwide threats hearing where you present to Congress national intelligence, timely, objective, and independent of political.
Okay, this actually isn't what I was looking for, but what is she saying here? This sounds like a much different.
He is saying that the president alone is responsible for defending 370 million people in this country.
But why can't she just say,
hold on, Tim.
Is it imminent or not?
Well, look, give me a definition of what you think is imminent.
If I don't, you're aiming a gun at me. My life is in imminent danger. You're about to kill me. That's imminent. Okay. It's about to happen now. Right now, it's about to happen.
Do you want to hear my definition of imminent threat?
Sure.
Okay. I have received information that you are armed and you are heading to my house. I am in immediate, imminent danger because you may be 10 miles away, but I know what your intentions are, and I know that you are armed. You have armed yourself. And me and my family are in imminent danger of you coming to my house and trying to do something. So you and I have a slightly different definition of what imminent threat is.
I think your definition, I agree kind of with your definition, but I don't hear Tulsi Gabbard saying that she believed that was about to happen. That's why she deflected to the president.
Yeah, my point to you is each of us have to make a definition. We have to decide what we feel is an imminent threat. And the president actually is far more right than most people are giving him credit for.
Okay.
You got to be kidding.
Yeah, I got to move it on anyway so you're safe. Appreciate it, Straight Talk. We'll let it go at that. Thanks for coming through.
Yeah, no problem. Just come see me.
You too. All right, tap the screen, get the likes up over 100,000. The guy who quit the intelligence said there was no, is there anybody from his intelligence community saying there is an imminent threat? I mean, because Tulsi and Joe Kent both said, who other than Trump, who has said there was an imminent threat? Because I'm starting to wonder where is he getting this information from? Why is your own administration saying otherwise? I don't know. In the comments, thank you, Mike the Sailor. Oh yeah, I can't let the man say something you don't want to hear. Huh? I don't get that one. Tim, Georgia Senator was trapping Tulsi. You needed to play the entire clip. Listen, at the end of the day, I don't know how we've gotten to a point under the Trump administration where every statement somebody makes, you need to hear 30 minutes of conversation to have it into context. We never heard that until Trump got elected. All of a sudden, it's kind of an issue of don't believe your lying ears. The guy could say, I could kill somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and my supporters would go nowhere. And suddenly, well, I need to hear the rest of it. Like, and by the way, I'm saying this because just like with Charlie Kirk, I have yet to hear any of these snippets where playing the full statement changed my mind or anybody else's. People who agreed with Charlie Kirk, they agree with the snippet, they agree with the long form. People who disagree with Charlie Kirk, they disagree with the snippet. Playing it in long form does not change their mind. I don't know why people keep saying you're taking that out of context. I have yet to hear anybody, now that I heard the whole thing, I think differently of Charlie, or I think differently of what Trump said. I haven't heard anybody say that. So I don't know why people are saying it's taken out of context. That's why you don't see, like, for instance, I'm using Charlie Kirk, that's when everybody was saying things are being taken out of context. You notice none of the defenders of Charlie Kirk were actually recommending specific links. Listen to this and you'll see he meant something different. None of them said, they were just saying you're taking that out of context. Okay, well, show me what makes it make, give me a clip, give me a link, give me a video that snippet will make more sense if I see this video you got. Notice they were not giving any videos or any clips like that. They were just telling you you're taking that out of context. They never provided anything to suggest, well, if you listen to it like this now, you'll see he meant something different. Because like I said, I've never heard anybody listen to anything from Charlie Kirk in long form and see it change their mind. If you like Charlie Kirk, listening to more of him is only going to make you like him more. If you don't like him, listening to more of him is only going to make you not like him even more. It didn't change anybody's mind. This whole context thing they keep talking about. But anyway, let me go back to the box. Those that say Charlie Kirk wasn't racist are liars, plain and simple. Says, I think that says AI Z1. Well, for the videos I made a 20 some odd minute video of Charlie Kirk debating. And the video is titled Charlie Kirk in Full Context. It's on my YouTube page. Charlie Kirk in Full Context. There was the whole black pilot thing. If I see a black pilot, I kind of wonder. And folks are saying you're taking it out of context. So I went and did the whole readout on what the airlines were looking for, when they wanted it by, and Charlie Kirk's response, and even showed the debate he had with a guy. And then we took it into full context. So far in the comment section of that video, not one person has said, this changed my mind. The folks that like Charlie Kirk still like him. The folks that did not like him from that statement did not change their mind hearing it in full context. So it is what it is. But continuing on with the program, and I do want to ask you guys to tap the screen, get us on up to 110, if you will. James Harper, good evening, welcome to the program. The only people that had a problem with Charlie couldn't stand to hear the truth. I don't think it had anything to do with the truth. I mean, some of the things Charlie Kirk was saying were just meant to be insults. I mean, Black Lives Matter equals burn, loot, and murder. What does that say to all the people who attended Black Lives Matter meetings where there was no burning, looting? By the way, there was not a lot of murdering from BLM. I don't know where that came. I mean, how many people got murdered at BLM protests? So, it had nothing to do with just the truth. He was saying some things that were just insulting. Black women married the government and divorced the women. This is some of the, I got pages of his quotes, pages of them. And the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. That's the truth? Okay. Black America needs to get his act together and stop sleeping around all the time. And he supports Trump. All of the spouses that Trump has cheated on, Black America needs to get his act together and stop sleeping around all the time. James, good evening.
What's going on, Tim?
I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Was the war with Iran absolutely necessary immediately? As my last caller talked about imminent. Were we in imminent danger from Iran?
No, we weren't, Tim. It's more bad intel from Israel. That's what that was. You see what they're doing now. You see how they're cheering on us to send our troops to Iran, but you ain't seen them not one time say, "Oh, we're going to mobilize our forces and we're going to send them to Iran too to help with the ground invasion."
That's a good point. I have not heard Israel. I believe they're in Lebanon, but I have not heard Israel talk about sending troops into Iran. That's a really good point.
And guess what, Tim? You want to know how many troops they actually sent during the whole Iraq-Afghanistan thing?
What?
Less than 10.
You're saying during the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, Israel sent less than 10 troops into those theaters? Wow.
Less than 10 people from Israel went out there.
Is that true? Damn.
Yes. And straight talks, when you talk about walking, as much stuff as we get them, they can get there the same way we do.
That's crazy considering how many European nations sent troops and lost troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. Israel sent less than 10.
All of that was on Israeli intel.
What does Israel have? Why are they able to get so much done by the United States? Why are we helping them so much?
Because we got so many people that take money from things like AIPAC and all that, and all these people that think like, oh, we have to have like ties with Israel. At one point, Iran was our allies.
Yeah, before the hostage thing back in the 70s. But the thing about it is, we got Trump now, James. He is a businessman that came with his own money, is not taking a salary. Are you saying he's still taking money from? Are you saying he's still taking money from Israel?
First, let me address him because he's saying that Israel will dog walk everybody around him. they would only do that because of the stuff that we give them.
Yeah.
If we stop backing them and all them countries was to jump them, Israel would be no more.
Yeah.
So stop that. We're already seeing that the Iron Dome is failing.
Yeah, I would definitely say that the idea that Israel is kicking ass in the region is because they got intel, weapons, and technology coming from the United States. And by the way, I don't even think they pay for it all. So they're getting if America,
we still give them money every year, Tim.
That's what I'm talking about. If America treated Israel like Trump wants to treat NATO and disassociated ourselves from Israel, I tend to agree with you. Israel would soon cease to be no more because you probably have half of the Middle East jumping them simultaneously. And they, without America's help, they would not survive all of that. So
there's so many countries that would have done stuff. And then when he's talking about something, they've been a threat this whole entire time. You know how many bases we have that's in striking distance of Iran that they did not strike?
Yeah.
After all these years, they did not strike.
So all of this is for Israel. In MAGA, what is MAGA just like really pro-Israel?
MAGA is pro whatever Trump says, because before all of this, NATO was our biggest ally. We was all for NATO. We was all one big team.
That is
Trump
true.
comes in and now all of a sudden NATO is useless. We can only rely on Israel, and we're gonna treat Russia and Korea better than the presidents before them.
I don't get how Trump was able to convince MAGA that Russia was such a nation to be free. I mean, Trump has spoken favorably of Russia almost the entire time he's been in politics. I don't get how MAGA, we all lived throughout the Cold War as us Generation Xers and grew up being taught that Russia was the enemy. I don't understand how he was able to convince MAGA that Russia is getting a bad deal or a bum rap or something like that.
Like I said, Trump loves the bullies. He loves the tough guys. And that's the same thing with MAGA. Why you think they always changing Trump's appearance to look like some massive swole Jack Rambo type dude every time you see him, or some other way to make him look like he's cooler than what he really is?
Well, maybe they view Trump as some sort of hero. I mean, he had the NFT card. By the way, folks, help your boy out with the TikTok cap and hat mustache goes. I appreciate the support. But maybe they just view Trump as one of the best presidents to come along in recent memory.
The only thing that they like about Trump is he's all about the theatrics. He's all about being cruel to people, which they for some ungodly reason, like they think that America is soft and we're supposed to be like some
thank you
bully to any and everybody.
Well, he's really good at theatrics, though. He certainly knows how to make the liberals cry. They like that.
And like I said, they love the bully tactics, even if they're not winning.
When you hear from MAGA, I think they feel very confident that they are winning, James Harper. They think they are winning.
MAGA thinks that they're part of the 1%, which they definitely are not.
Damn. MAGA thinks they're part of. What makes you say that?
Because they sit there and cheer on all these things that like benefit the 1%, but they don't realize like all the shit that like fucks with them. Like when they were talking about let's get rid of Obamacare, not realizing that Obamacare is the ACA, and most of them are part of that. And straight talks, I'm way smarter than you.
Well, I tell you, I bring this up all the time. When I went to a Trump rally, I had we were in line like 5 hours or so to get into the Trump rally, and I was told by a MAGA, a Trump supporter in line next to me, that Trump was sent by God to make America great. So some direct connection to the deity, which would give you a connection with Trump.
There you go, right there. First off, these people are thinking that the guy who breaks almost all damn commandments constantly can't even spit one fucking verse in the Bible. Even the ones that mention the commandments is anointed by God.
He said the man breaks all the commandments
But the devout Christian that was Joe Biden that went to church, in fact, every president was devout religious, and they was always they was always going to church and things like that. Trump, his only time he go to church is in somebody's funeral. And the one time he didn't go to church that it wasn't a funeral, he attacked the priest because the priest said, "Be merciful."
Yeah, he did attack the priest. Hell, he's had choice words for the Pope. So I mean, him and the Pope, he got into a spat with the Pope. Trump ain't nobody off limits from Trump. If Jesus Christ came down himself, I think Trump would find a way to get into an argument with him.
He's such a narcissist that he said that they should have nominated him to be the Pope.
Did he really?
Remember when they was about to choose a new Pope? Trump was like, "It should be me."
Look, I gotta tell you something. Regardless, like him or hate him, his confidence is off the chain. I mean, that man got more confidence than a man with a gun in a pillow fight. You gotta give it up for his confidence.
No, you can't say his confidence is off the chain, because the second somebody says something negative to him, he act like the biggest bitch in the room. Talk about these people are after me. It's a witch hunt. They never liked me. Oh, woe is me. I'm the most haunted person on earth.
Well, but you got to think that shit works. I can't hate on Trump for doing what works. Because this is what they say African Americans do, always playing the victim. You hear people say blacks always. Well, Trump does it, and it works very well for him. Every time you hear Trump speak, he's talking about how somebody victimized him, the courts, the liberals, the judges. I mean, he plays victim to the media, you name it.
And every time he does that, when you go looking into why he's saying that they victimized him, the first thing you look at is, damn, he just committed a crime and they hold his ass accountable. But as soon as they try to hold his ass accountable, all of a sudden, it's the witch hunt, it's a hoax, this happened. But half the damn time, he brings his shit on himself.
But I can't blame the man for doing what works. And by the way, tap the screen, gets up to 120, smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. Can you hate the man for doing what works? Playing the victim works very well for him. It's done very well for him.
It works when the people that fall for it are as gullible as MAGA.
Okay, well, they're falling for it, so it's working. I mean,
and Tim, the issue with the fact that they're falling for it and it's working is hurting everybody else.
It ain't hurting him. So. And by the way, MAGA does not believe Trump is hurting them at all. MAGA believes Trump is making the nation safer, wealthier, and more prosperous and powerful and respected. So he's doing a good job.
That's because every time someone mentions like the shit that's wrong with the country, they don't blame him. Like their gas prices. The reason why their gas prices is so high is directly because of him. The reason why you got to wait like 3 to 5 hours to get on a goddamn plane right now is directly because of what he's been doing. All this type of shit. Right now, there's gonna be a shortage on natural gas and jet fuel and things like that because of his actions.
Yeah, but they believe the actions, James, are necessary to protect America's security. Iran is a threat. Yeah, you're gonna pay. Would you rather pay a few bucks more per gallon or be at risk of getting hit by a nuclear warhead? These are your choices.
We weren't at risk in the first place.
I'm just telling you, and I see you in the comments, Kingfin, hashtag stop the fucking fluffing. Nobody's fluffing here, Kingfin. But
you have not been pushing back like you were supposed to.
I'm pushing back right now on you. You're not giving Trump credit for defending this great nation.
No, you should have been pushing back when Straight Talks was sitting there bullshitting and lying this whole goddamn time.
I push back on Straight Talk. Straight Talk just floods the zone with so much shit. And you can't push back. I would not stop talking if I push back on it. Straight Talk floods the zone with bullshit. It's like living in, 15th century England. There's bullshit all over the ground. I don't know what to do. The horses are shitting, the pigs are shitting, the damn citizens are dumping shit in the middle of town square. I don't know what to do. He pushes a lot, but I'm just simply saying, the belief is that under Trump, he is making the nation safe to the point where it might cost you a little bit for gas, gas in the short term. A little bit.
Tim, a little bit. You seen the effects for yourself. Name one time in the last 40 years COVID included, that Vegas was a ghost town.
Yeah, that has more to that Vegas being a ghost town has a lot more to do with than just the increased price of gas. Although I do believe it's Trump's fault, though.
No, I'm not. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's Trump's fault. Yeah, President Trump, threatening every nation and sicking ice on people. You're causing a lot of foreign visitors to stay away. And Vegas is a place where a lot of foreigners
and
came.
then him adding ICE to the airports, is that going to help with tourism and things like that? No, he's killing businesses left and right. These people talking about, I wanted a businessman to be in charge. Well, they got the worst businessman on earth to be in charge of this goddamn country. We're gonna be his next bankruptcy.
I don't necessarily agree with your notion that Trump is the worst businessman. What I think what the problem is he's integrating personal vendettas and hate of enemies and adversaries in politics into business. If he just ran the country like a business, he might be more successful. But when you're trying to go after your adversaries, you're trying to seek ice on Somalians, and you're doing too much that has nothing to do with business and intertwining it in how you're running the country. And that's where the problem is. Keep your personal grievances out of running the country. He's running the country from
Stevie D. That $4 billion that you're talking about was quid pro quo. Why you think they're pressuring him so much to get this shit done in Iran? Because they paid them all this goddamn money, and they're not getting nothing for what they paid for. That's why they pressure that say, "Hey, you started this shit. You better fucking finish it."
Yeah, I think he could do far better successfully as running the country like a business. There are aspects of the country I think would be good to run like a business. I don't believe civil services should be ran like a business, for instance. I don't want you running 911 or public schools. I don't even like running healthcare like a business, because a business has no tolerance for people that do not have enough money to buy their goods or services. So anything you run like a business is going to be off limits to poor people. And I think there's certain aspects of the country you don't want to be off limits to poor people, namely civil services. But I think Trump could be successful running a country like a business if he was not intertwining his own personal grievances in the mix so much. That's okay. You're only giving contracts to people you like and people you hate. You're going after that type of stuff. If somebody is, if a contractor is the best one for the job, you don't pick them because you got a good relationship with them, or better yet, get somebody who don't know what they're doing because you really like this guy. So the favoritism and all of that stuff that's in there is what causes problems.
Well, exactly. That's the kind of things that I was saying. He has no idea what the hell he's doing, and the people that would help him with that stuff, he don't want them around because they'll tell him no.
Yeah, and that's a problem is that if you're going to be in a role of leadership, you only want yes men around you. I think some MAGA disagree with that, but I think Straight Talk tried to suggest that. But I'm with you on that, James. I think when he requests a resume, the number one bullet point is how loyal you are. That's more important than your education, your work history. Everything. Loyalty, I believe, ranks number one with President Trump. And that's not necessarily a good thing to run a government, because some folks, if you're doing something that's out of pocket, the guy shouldn't be loyal to you if he thinks what you're doing may be harmful to the financial security of the country or, national security. He should be able to tell you that without getting fired. And that's not how things go with Trump.
And these same MAGA people were talking about we need to stop all this fraud, waste, abuse. But the main people that's doing the fraud, waste, abuse are the cabinet members.
What do you mean?
Almost every single.
What do you mean?
Tulsi Gabbard, she's wasting money with frivolous trips.
Yeah.
Cash Patel, Alina Habba, all of them. Every one of them has been caught doing some dumb shit. Pam Bondi.
Yeah,
all of them have been
Christy Nome got a jet, and obviously the television commercials and things like that. I've said it before. Look, I'm not saying that corruption in politics and money grifting is something new to the Trump administration. It's probably happened under all administrations.
They've taken it to a whole new level,
and that's where the difference is.
They're not even like what makes it worse. they're not even good at it. They're like so blatant and so bad at it. It's like what? And the reason why they're not getting in trouble because those cut the oversight. They gutted all the divisions that's supposed to stop this shit to keep us from losing all this damn money. And now look where we're at.
Yeah, kind of makes you miss the times when it was only Hunter Biden and Burisma, huh? Not the whole administration. I mean, it was just his son we were talking about, 10% to the big guy. Not everybody. I mean, like, they all making money.
That's another thing. They was all talking about crime family, but you seem to ignore the fact that Trump's son was able to get a company that works in drones and get a government contract with a company that he was not charged with but 8 days before.
Yeah, and that's what I've said, is that I believe corruption has been under all presidents, but with the Trump administration, it's out in the open. They're not even attempting to hide it. I mean, fuck it, nobody can stop us. So they're kind of being corrupt out in the open. So they make themselves a bigger target than Obama or Biden or Bush or something because they're so out in the open with it. His own crypto? I mean, like, really? Like, you got a president in office that developed his own cryptocurrency while president.
Ask yourself why the Republicans just keep blocking the bill that would have funded the National Guard, the TSA, and everybody except for ICE.
My take, he's asking Asher guess what side voted to shut the government down. Both sides. Because if the right wanted the government to open, all they got to do is give in to what the left is asking for. If the left wanted the government, it can just give in everything to right. So both sides is fighting to keep the government shut down. It ain't one side.
Where has money for illegals even shown up anywhere in this conversation?
Money for illegals.
That's what he put. That's why we keep saying that y'all are stupid and gullible because y'all keep bringing up irrelevant points to try and prove your thing when they ain't got shit to do with the damn conversation.
I just wish if Trump provided evidence and proof of some of the stuff he's claiming, it would make, because the stuff he's claiming, it makes sense. We shouldn't have those things in existence. But the problem is a lot of stuff he claimed he don't provide proof is actually based on reality. Like you shouldn't want illegals voting and things like that. I don't agree with that either. But he's not providing proof that that's actually happening. So that's where the problem is he's saying a lot of awful things like they're rapists and murderers or they're eating cats and dogs. No, I don't want any of that. But I would like to see proof that that's actually happening. And he doesn't show you that. You just have to kind of believe him.
And Tim, answer me this. What good is an agency that's supposed to be in charge of immigration that barely follows any immigration policy and standards? Why are they supposed to be in charge of security airlines when they don't even know the airline policies and standards?
You're talking about putting ICE in place of TSA. I don't favor it for this. And not only do I not favor it for what you're talking about, they don't have the proper training to be TSA agents. I don't like it also because of how Trump worded it. Like, we're going to provide security like you've never seen it before. And we're going to arrest the Somalis. And he brings up, what is the congresswoman in Minnesota, Ilhan. Why are you bringing all this up and talking about putting ICE? He's making it sound like if the Democrats don't open the government, he's going to send ICE to airports to wreak havoc. He didn't make it sound positive at all. So that's why I don't favor it, because you don't make it sound like TSA is down right now. So we're going to put ICE in there to get the country back functioning. No, you make it sound like you're sending them there as a threat to repay the liberals for shutting down the government. So you're going to wreak havoc. So for that reason, I don't want ICE in there because we saw what happened in Minnesota.
He can't get his SAVE Act. He can't get his SAVE Act to pass. So he's like, since that won't happen, I'm gonna punish the whole country. Like I said, he's a big ass baby.
I guess, but like I said, it's worked for him very well as a businessman. So I understand why Trump is doing it. I got to move it on, though, James. But it's worked well for him as a businessman. So you can't blame him for doing what has worked very well for him. James, thanks for coming through.
No problem.
And moving on with the program, 13 airports already have ICE on property without badges or anything. Yeah. That's one of the things, to me, one of the things that Democrats are asking for to get the country back up and running shouldn't be that big of a sticking point. That ICE have identifying badges, do not wear masks, and we get away from this whole administrative warrant bullshit and go back to a judge requiring a warrant. In other words, ICE goes back to being a law enforcement authority that doesn't have special powers. That's all it is. Because all the other forms of law enforcement, U.S. Marshals, sheriff's deputies, police, none of them wear masks. And they all have to wear name tags and identify themselves. And they have to get judicial warrants to enter properties. So really the Democrats, when it comes to ICE, they're just asking, we want them to be a regular form of law enforcement that does not have superpowers. And the Republicans are like, no, because we think they would get doxxed if they don't become superpowers. I don't like that mindset for the simple reason that ICE has been shown to do things that are illegal, threatening to take away a man's voice if he raises his voice much. Obviously, we can talk about what happened to Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good and many, many other people that have been detained that were actual U.S. citizens and things like that. I don't believe a group of people that have been caught on camera doing so many things that, at the very least, look like they're questionable forms of law. I don't think they should have the right to not identify. This is not a squeaky clean organization that you should give total anonymity to. They've been caught on camera doing shit. And they've only been really doing what Trump has had them doing for, a year or so. I mean, I don't know how long they were in Minnesota, but they did all kinds of awful looking shit just in Minnesota for those few months they were there. Why should they get anonymity when you already see them caught on camera doing stuff wrong? So I absolutely do not agree. So I don't think, at least from that aspect, I don't think what the Democrats are asking for is that great that it should be meeting such resistance from the Republican Party. A name tag, not allowed to wear a mask, and you get your warrant the same way other members of law enforcement get their warrants. We just don't want this particular group of law enforcement to have superpowers. That's it. We don't want them to have superpowers that are greater than any other form of law enforcement. And they're suggesting, no, they need that. To get illegal immigration under control, they need to have powers that no other form of law enforcement has, including anonymity. So you don't even know who they are, and the right to go into dwellings and in homes and businesses without going through a judge to get a warrant. I don't favor that at all. But I think it's simple. To me, if you're running a nation, it's your job to get the people to work together and get the country back open. Bashing one side is not going to do that. I don't think the position he's playing is going to help the cause. Just blaming the Democrats over and over again ain't going to get the country back up and running. You need to sit both sides down and have a conversation. Just blaming one side is never going to work. And I think that's the approach he seems to be taking. Biden was a white man also. What does that mean? So if everyone else did it, it's just a problem when he does. No, it's possible that everyone else was doing it wrong too. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Right now, everybody is saying that Trump is wrong for starting a war with Iran without going to Congress. Folks on the right are saying, well, Obama or Biden or somebody in the past did something similar. Maybe they were wrong as well, because I'll tell you this, if you get a liberal president in the future that starts a war in the exact same manner as Trump, you think the Republicans are going to say, well, Trump did it too. No, they're going to pursue that guy. They're not going to let this happen under a liberal. They're not going to say, well, Trump did it, so, it is what it is. No, they're going to pursue him. They're going to be going after that guy saying it's wrong. So bringing up, and that's what I keep saying, when Trump is being criticized for something, bringing up Obama or Biden is not a defense for President Trump. Perhaps Biden and Obama were getting it wrong too. So pointing to them is not a defense for what he is doing. Because I'm fairly certain that if we had a liberal in there, and I'm talking about after Trump. So let's say Trump does his term and you put a liberal in there, and that guy starts a somebody in the same manner because North Korea has been threatening us and trying to develop more nukes or something. You think the Republicans are just going to idly sit by? Well, Trump did it, so I guess they can do. No, they're going to be saying that shit is wrong. So yeah, I don't buy bringing up other presidents and trying to suggest that somehow that should excuse what the current one is doing. Trump fired all the inspector generals, so his family gets to make money by selling U.S. secrets. That's a crime, is it not? Too many people crying about gas prices while ignoring all the price gouging is crazy. Only a few people have spoken out on it. It's happening everywhere, but lefties don't talk about that. I don't hear righties talking about it either. The righties are the ones in control. What are they doing about price gouging? I don't hear a bunch of folks on Fox talking about what they're talking about. It ain't gonna do shit. If you're in control, what are you doing about it? What laws are being passed? Trump is doing all kinds of stuff via executive order. What is he doing about price gouging? He's been able to get things done by merely threatening people. Have you heard him? What has he done to stop price gouging? The lefties aren't talking about it. The lefties aren't in power. That's not true. Narcotics unit officers, while serving warrants, have always worn masks. True. Not the whole fucking department, though. Narcotics officers are allowed to wear masks when they're on a special assignment. They don't walk around 24 hours a day in a fucking mask and no name tag. The whole department don't do that. There is no whole department of law enforcement that wears masks. ICE is the only ones doing that. And even narcotics officers that you're bringing up do not get allowed to go into places without a judicial warrant. They still need that. So even narcotics officers do not have the power that Trump is trying to give ICE. So it goes beyond that. Somebody said the narcotics unit, that's the sheriff's office. This is all law enforcement. Yeah, and the sheriff's office don't do that. That's only when they're going on special missions. So no, you're a bit stretching it on that one. They don't walk around the street with masks on. Even the narcotics units don't just go walking down the street walking into Target somewhere with a fucking mask on. They don't do that. The president can't use executive orders exclusively to write new laws or change pre-established laws. Bullshit. This one does. This one is having no problem doing it. You're going to tell me out of all of the shit that Trump has gotten done, if he wanted to do something against price gouging, he couldn't do that, huh? He can do everything else when it comes to price gouging. Well, now he can't do anything about it. Get the fuck out of here. You kidding me? This guy is threatening to take media networks and shit off the air. But price gouging is something that all Americans would overwhelmingly agree with. He can't do anything about that one, huh? He would get bipartisan support from the people to stop price gouging. He wouldn't even need Congress. The people would be in favor of that. Okay. Anyway, you need a warrant to enter private property, not in a public place. True, but they're going in place. They tried to go into an embassy. That wasn't public. They tried to get into an embassy after it was closed. They are trying to get into private properties as well. So they're going beyond that. I don't think you realize that they're doing a little bit more than you could tell. All right, got to reset it. Don't know what happened.